Today's Santa Cruz Spirit football game was brought to you by Shackle Telecommunications at 345 Coral Street in Santa Cruz.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome. I'm Joel Domhoff alongside Gino Panelli. Glad to join you for Community Television's presentation of the Amateur Adult Football League. Today it's the Santa Cruz Spirit coming in with a record of 1-1, playing host to the Sacramento Grizzlies, who come in 0-2. The Spirit playing their home games here at San Lorenzo Valley High School. They have won the coin flip. They will receive. They'll look to put their offense on the field first here. And Sacramento in their road green with gold helmets will kick off. Back deep to receive for the Spirit will be number 2, David Adams, and number 11, Santos Garcia, who just joined the Spirit. He was not on their opening day roster, but he's there now. So Santos Garcia out of Santa Cruz High, one of the newest additions here to the Spirit. He's back deep, and we're about ready to play football here on a beautiful day for football here at San Lorenzo Valley High. Kicking off for Sacramento, it'll be number 13, S.K. Lewengrath, and here we go. Kick is hauled in by David Adams, brings it across the 20, 25-30, tries to cut up field, moves the pile forward, so good field position for the Spirit as they'll start at their own 35. Out to lead the Spirit offense once again, it'll be quarterback Ricardo De La Paz. He'll have behind him number 7, David Gagiri. And the running backs will be number 30, Anastasio Beltran. And the hero of their Week 1 opening day win, number 44, Rich Bourgeon. Split back set, it's Bourgeon and Garcia behind De La Paz. 3 receiver set, as tight end Robert Harrington splits wide along with Danny Alejandrez and Henry Torres up top. De La Paz looks to pass first play, under pressure, breaks the tackle, but he's thrown down for a loss, so tough play to open the game here for the Spirit, Gino.
Yeah, Joe, looks like there was a missed assignment in the blocking scheme up front. The D-line got in there rather quickly. It looked like a face mask to me, but no flags on the field, so I'll play on.
3-yard loss on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 13 for the Spirit. And we saw in their opening game win over Hollister, a thrilling overtime game, that the Spirit like to go 3 receiver set. They like to use Bourgeon out of the backfield, although now they've brought in number 30, Anastasio Beltran, in a single back set, so now they go 4 receivers on 2nd and long. De La Paz barking the signals. Quick slant pass. Alejandrez has it, cuts up field, gets a block, gets 8 yards on the play, taken down at the 40, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
It looks like the Spirit needs to use their speed a little bit more. It looks like they have the quickness advantage on the outside. If they can get those guys a little opening, they could have some problems for the other team today.
Sacramento comes into this game 0-2. They lost their season opener 22-6 to San Jose, and then were forced to forfeit their second game because they could not secure a home field. So tough start to the season for the Grizzlies. They're 0-2. And from what we hear, though, they have a good defense and a solid running game, so the Spirit will have to play well today. 3rd and 6 from the 40. De La Paz draws him offside. Free play for the Spirit. And actually, they're going to blow it dead. They're going to call encroachment on the D-line. So good job that time, Gino, by De La Paz to draw the defense offside.
Yeah, he's barking out those hard, strict calls, and you know, Sacramento's antsy. They're ready to go, so he might draw some attention and get some penalties early.
It could be that it's just short here. We said 3rd and 6, and it is going to be just short, so it now brings up a 3rd and 1. Ball at the 44-yard line of the Spirit, so we would look for Bourgeon to get it here based on what we saw in game 1. He's a bruiser of a running back. He's tough to bring down, and he is the single back behind De La Paz. Give is to Bourgeon. He gets the first down. Cross 45-yard line, close to midfield. First and 10, Spirit.
That's a good play right there, Joel. You run your 6'1", 240-pound fullback right to the left side of the line, pick up 3 yards, move the chains.
So the ball marked just short of midfield. It'll be first and 10 for the Spirit. Clock should be running, and it is now at 12:45. So opening drive for the Spirit begins with a good return from David Torres, and now a first down thanks to Rich Bourgeon. Fresh set of downs for the Spirit in their purple uniforms with silver helmets. 3 receiver set now. It's Torres and Alejandro's on the right. Quick snap count there by De La Paz, and he falls forward. Good play there, 6 yards. Caught the defense napping.
Actually, looks like no one was on the same page there. Ball was snapped, no one moved except the quarterback, and yeah, he got 6 yards out of it. Nice play.
We saw De La Paz do that successfully quite a few times against Hollister in their win here at SLV, and as we said, he got a quick 5-yard gain there. And on the play, starting lineman Eden Renero for the Spirit limps off, so we'll keep an eye on that injury for you. But the Spirit have depth up front, so that shouldn't be a problem. Shotgun now on 2nd and 6, ball at the 46. De La Paz looks to pass. Bourgeon protecting him. He looks left side. Pass thrown, almost intercepted. Closest man to the ball was a Sacramento Grizzly, but as it turns out, intended receiver was David Gagiri. It'll now be 3rd and 6.
That's a risky call right there. He's thrown across his body, across the field. A lot of room out there in the flat, and if he gets that picked off, there's nobody in front of him. But fortunately for the Spirit, incomplete, and we'll run another play.
3rd and 6 now, the situation. Ball at the 46. Actually, we'll call it 3rd and 5. They need to get to the 41-yard line of Sacramento. 3 receiver set here on 3rd and 5 for De La Paz. Lone back behind him is Bourgeon. De La Paz gives to Bourgeon right side. Breaks 1 tackle, falls forward. Looks like he'll get enough for the first down. He will. Richard Bourgeon proving unstoppable once again. He falls across the 40 to the 39. Another first down for the Spirit.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not running him a little bit more. It looks like he's getting 5-6 yards of crack. He's a big guy. It's going to be hard for one guy to bring him down, so I'd like to see them utilize that weapon a little bit more, use that in there to the passing game, later on down the road.
Ball actually marked down at the 40-yard line of Sacramento. So Bourgeon's done his job as advertised. 2 carries, 2 first downs. And now on 1st and 10, they're going to go with a 4 receiver set. De La Paz by himself in the shotgun formation. Looks to pass deep left side. No one open. Flips it forward, though. Caught by Beltran. Goes to the 30. 25. Breaks a tackle. Nice run that time by Anastasio Beltran off the flip from De La Paz. Nice improvisation by De La Paz. Another first down, and the Spirit are moving here early, Gino.
Yeah, De La Paz looks comfortable back there, Joel. They had 4 receivers to the right. With the safety valve on the left, he rolls out to his left. No one's open. Little flip, 20 yards later. Hey, ready to get a little score here for the Spirit.
Ball marked down at the 26-yard line of Sacramento, 1st and 10. So the Spirit doing well here early on their first drive of the game. 10:40 to go in the first quarter. Out of the huddle now, it'll be a 3 receiver set. Beltran remains in the game. He actually sets up in the slot. And it's Donovan Lansner behind De La Paz now. Lansner gets the call, right side sweep. Ooh, and a nice tackle. He's cut down for a loss. Nice play that time by number 88 for Sacramento. That's R.J. Bradley. Nice tackle in the open field.
Yeah, one-on-one tackle, though. Bradley came up, kept his ground, put a nice lick on him. No yardage there for the Spirit.
It's actually going to be a loss of 2 on the play. Ball marked down at the 28. So it'll be 2nd and 12 for the Spirit. And Henry Torres checks in for the Spirit. Donovan Lasner, who just got struck there on that last play, kind of limps off. And Bourgeon back in the game as well. 4 receivers for De La Paz on 2nd and 12. Bourgeon, the lone back behind him. Looked like movement. They did finally call it. Bourgeon. Wow. Good play. Good thing for number 8 there, Gino. Roman Hernandez of Sacramento, because he was about to get head on by Bourgeon, but fortunately for him, the play was blown dead. Otherwise, I think that would have been ugly.
Yeah, and the scary thing was he was coming up high, and I don't know if I want to meet Bourgeon one-on-one above the waist there. That was a nice play, actually, a little movement in the line, but they got to keep running him. He looks good, and I think they can capitalize on that today.
So it's a 5-yard penalty. Now it'll be 2nd and 17. Ball back at the 33-yard line, so the Spirit get a loss of 2 yards and then a penalty, so they're moving backwards here a bit, but still 2nd down, so they have time to amend their mistakes. Bourgeon remains in the game. 3-receiver set now as tight end Robert Harrington stays on the line. De La Paz under center. Fakes to Bourgeon and sweeps left side. Tries to get outside. He does. Breaks a tackle. Sprints for the corner. Dives out of bounds. Nice gain on the play. He gets it up to the 27. Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and about 9.
Not a bad play. De La Paz is pretty quick. The only thing I don't like is I don't know if there's a backup quarterback, so you don't want him meeting too many defensive guys in a collision here today. You want to keep him on the field, keep him moving the ball, and get the Spirit, get him back rolling again.
Bourgeon out. Anastasio Beltran in for the Spirit on 3rd and 10 as De La Paz was able to get the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. It's the 27 of Sacramento. Harrington will split wide on the right side with Alejandrez. Left side, it'll be Torres and Gagiri. 4-receiver set. And actually, they're going to go 5 receivers now as they put Beltran in the slot as well on 3rd and 10. De La Paz in the shotgun. Here we go. He's got a full blitz, but they set up the screen. Nice catch by Beltran, but well defended by Sacramento. Number 99 and number 34. 99 is Askia Hertz. Number 34 is Deontay McCullough. So they read that screen well there, Gino, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, you know, De La Paz threw that just a little bit high, so the running back had to jump up and get it, give the defense just enough time to come back and stop that play for a big gain.
Well, this is one of those situations on 4th and 9 where it's perhaps too long to kick a field goal, and certainly they're too close to punt, so they're going to go for it here on 4th and 9, ball at the 26-yard line of Sacramento. Early gamble here by Santa Cruz coach Jim Clark. Again, it's a 4-receiver set. Bourgeon in the backfield with De La Paz, who's in the shotgun. 4th and 9. Bourgeon into block. De La Paz looks right side, overthrows his intended receiver. That was Henry Torres. So the Spirit will turn it over on downs. A good first drive, but they stalled there at the end, Gino.
Yeah, they had a good roll in the middle of the field, and they got into some penalty trouble. And, you know, I would have liked maybe to see a draw right there. You got nothing to lose. You're down on that end of the field. Their defense has been on the field a long time, and, hey, tackling Bourgeon's not an easy thing, it looks like today. So maybe we'll see that later on in the game.
And this is something we saw in the first game for the Spirit. They did have a huge advantage in time of possession. They were able to wear down the other team, in this case Hollister. Bourgeon was able to hit them late. Spirit, with their impressive defensive line and overall defense, I should say, they held Hollister to 14 points, dominated the game, and they'll see what we can do now with the Sacramento offense. 1st and 10 from their own 26. Give us to their big fullback who goes nowhere, brought down by Maurice Lee, the linebacker. And it looks like number 91, Shea Ackerley, so no gain on 1st down.
Grizzlies need to do a little regrouping already. Spirit was all over that play. There was 4 linemen in the backfield pretty much by the time the ball is handed off. So Grizzlies don't make it a couple adjustments, it's going to be a long offensive game for Sacramento.
Dante Thomas, the carrier on that play for Sacramento. And they actually are going to say he lost a yard on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 11. Inside 7.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Quarterback for Sacramento is number 2, Julian Ogan, and he looks to do something on 2nd and 11. Gives again, right side, little or no gain once again for Thomas. Brought down that time again by Ackerley. He got help from Emmanuel Perez, and the gang tackling defense of the Spirit showing itself here early.
Yeah, that was a nice job on the left side of the line. Looks like a little back crack trap play from left to right. Defense held their position and made the stop, little or no gain.
We don't have height and weight numbers for the Grizzly offensive line. They look like they're big. They also look like they are, how should I say, round. So it appears as if Santa Cruz's defense could get around them with their speed. Gain of 2 yards on that play, so it's a 3rd and 9. Ball at Sacramento's 26-yard line. Oh, and a big sack that time by number 8. Damon Hansen for the Spirit, and he pumps up the crowd on the sideline. Big sack for a loss there. They're actually going to say it's a loss of 8 on the play. Great penetration by Hansen.
That was no contest, Joel. He went up, quick swim move. He was around him. He's a pretty fast guy for a 6'4", 275, and he was on the quarterback in a heartbeat. It's going to be a long day for that tight end or defensive, offensive tackle on the Grizzlies. He's got to go up against that boy all day.
Especially in a one-on-one situation, Hansen has proven that he needs to be double-teamed, what we've seen early. So, precarious situation here for the Grizzlies. They go 3 and out. Now they're forced to punt. Ball marked at their own 19. And back deep to receive for the Spirit. The up back is David Adams, and deep it's Santos Garcia. And Sacramento, not sure who was supposed to be on the punt team. They didn't have 11 players out there, so they called timeout. Our first timeout of the game comes at the 5-minute, 30-second mark of the first quarter. It's no score, Santa Cruz and Sacramento. Well, on this first timeout, this will give us a chance to meet our color man, Gino Panelli. Gino, you've played quite a few games up here in the past here at San Lorenzo Valley High School as a, let me make sure I get this right, linebacker / running back for the Santa Cruz Cardinals?
That is correct, believe it or not. 5'9", 175 in high school. I was a linebacker, but you know, you can get away with that stuff in high school, Joel. Yeah, actually, it was a fun place to play up here. We actually won one of a few games that we won in a couple years, my last couple years in high school up here, and it was fun. Football's a great sport, and fun to watch, fun to play.
All right, we will continue to meet Mr. Panelli throughout the game, but now we're back to the action. A high snap on the punt. Potential block, but the wind knocks it down. That punt went sideways. Huge break for the Spirit. The man into pressure that time was Ray Gibson, and he forced an awful punt by Sacramento. The ball was at the 19. It's now marked at the 33, so a 14-yard punt that time by Sacramento, and the Spirit will take over 1st and 10. Great field position at the Sacramento 33.
Well, Gibson put some pressure on, and the punter for the Grizzlies saw him coming, shanked it off his foot, and wind got it, knocked it down. Great field position for the Spirit. Let's see what they can do this time on offense.
Combination of Mother Nature and the pressure of Ray Gibson forcing a 14-yard punt there. So the Spirit defense once again did their job, 3 and out. They're well rested on the sideline, and their offense is raring to go. We'll see if they can wear down this Sacramento defense. 1st and 10, Bourgeon the lone back behind De La Paz, 3 receiver set. Give is to Bourgeon up the middle, breaks one tackle, spins forward, breaks another, carries the pile, still on his feet. Bourgeon down to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
I'm thinking, why pass, Joel? That guy, you can't tackle him. He just broke about 4 tackles up the middle. He runs high, but he's such a force. It's going to take 3-4 guys to knock him down today. I'd like to see him get about 30 carries and just carry the load. And when they got to pass, they got to pass. But boy, we got a weapon like that. Let's use it.
Ball marked down at the 16-yard line, 17-yard gain for Bourgeon. And Gino, watching Bourgeon early, can you imagine that he's never played organized football until this year?
Not really. It looks like he's got some pretty good footwork. You know, it's not that easy to just come in and play football, especially the running back position. He looks like he's handling himself pretty well.
1st and 10, they go, no, it's a fake to Bourgeon. De La Paz keeps around the right side, falls forward. 10-yard gain down to the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Spirit.
Good play by the offensive coordinator. Fake to the big guy who's running through you and let your fast quarterback go around the outside for about 10 yards, set up a nice field position. See if they can punch it in this time, Joel.
Ricardo De La Paz, standing 5'8", weighing just 165 pounds, out of Watsonville High School. Now a Watsonville City Councilman. and he's done a great job here as the Spirit quarterback. Very quick afoot. He has shown that early in these first 2 games that we've seen. And he got 10 yards there to set up a 1st and goal at the Sacramento 6. Out of the huddle here, it's Bourgeon behind De La Paz. Donovan Lasner in on the right side, 3 receivers as well. Fake to Bourgeon, they go to Lasner. He's thrown for a loss, ball put on the ground. They're gonna say he was down, fortunate that time for the Spirit, but in on the play, number 9, James Hawley, and number 56, Jason Benton. Great play again, throwing Lasner for a loss.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. You got your big guy going up the middle for 5-6 yards of crack, and then you try to get a long play around the outside. Yeah, Sacramento sniffed that one out and stopped him. A little momentum builder for Sacramento, maybe.
Loss of 7 on the play, so Lasner in 2 carries is negative 10 yards. So we're going to have to look for Bourgeon here now as it's 2nd and goal, ball on the 13-yard line. Bourgeon, the lone back behind De La Paz. Oh, and there's some miscommunication. De La Paz tries to break free, but he can't. Too quick on the outside was number 56, Jason Benton. Man, he flew around the end that time and brought down De La Paz for a huge loss.
Yeah, Benton showed some definite quickness there because De La Paz, he's a speedy little guy. But Benton, he flew around the outside. Miscommunication on the inside. There's that factor right there, Joel, where Bourgeon maybe not playing a lot of football. Miscommunication between him and the quarterback, allows a big play on defense. So you're going from, short yardage touchdown to 3rd and a long way for a 1st down. So
1st and goal at the 6 has become 3rd and goal at the 23 for the Spirit. They've lost 17 yards on 2 plays. And now they'll have to try and go up top in a 3-receiver set. Bourgeon, the lone back. Fake the draw, De La Paz rolls right. He's got a man open, it's Harrington, the tight end. Breaks 1 tackle, but he's driven out of bounds. Well short of a touchdown, which is what they needed. Number 4 on the tackle that time, John Oliver for Sacramento, driving Harrington out of bounds. So it's now 4th and goal at the 16.
That wasn't a bad play. You fake to your big guy up the middle, give your quarterback a little time, throw the tight end. There's another big guy with 6'4", 250, I think I see. And, it's going to be tough to tackle, too. So pick up a little yards here and there. Just gain some more momentum for the offense.
We'll see what the Spirit decide to do here on 4th and goal. And they're going to go for it. No, they are going to kick the field goal. Number 32, that's Jose Romero. Back to kick for the Spirit. Ball will be marked at the 23. This will be a 33-yard attempt. De La Paz, the holder. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick looks good. It is good. 33-yard field goal successful by Jose Romero. So at 2:11 in the first quarter, the Spirit draw first blood. Santa Cruz 3, Sacramento 0. Nice kick there, Gino, by Romero.
Yeah, they look like they practiced that once or twice. He made that by about 10 or 12 yards, no problem. He's got the leg, it looks like, with the wind, too, so we'll see what happens coming down the other way in the second half, but nice kick right there. They set it up well. Good hold, good snap. Bingo.
And that is really the key for the Spirit. Their defense is so strong that if their offense can give them a lead, they'll be tough to beat in this league. Their record is 1-1. They lost last week, actually 50-9. Not sure what happened to the defense there. Their opening day win over Hollister, they were dominant in a 20-14 overtime win, but they lost to South Bay pretty handily to drop their record to 1-1. Currently, Redwood City and Solano are 2-0 in the league. San Jose 1-0. South Bay and Alameda are 1-1 along with the Spirit, so they're right in the thick of things to get into the playoffs. It's an 8-game league, so Santa Cruz has plenty of time to right itself, and the early returns here in the first quarter certainly bode well for them. Romero, after successfully kicking the 33-yard field goal, will kick off. It's a low squiver, and it's brought in by the up back for Sacramento. That's number 88. He breaks a couple tackles, brings it across to the 40-yard line. That was R.J. Bradley for Sacramento with a nice return, setting them up with good field position. Ball will be marked at their own 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Sacramento. The the Spirit defense back on the field, successful on their first attempt against Sacramento's offense. 3 and out. Sacramento actually lost yardage on that first drive, so early returns on their defense look good, led up front by Hanson, Damon Hanson, Shea Ackerley, and Lamar Brooks. The big 3 up front along with Emmanuel Perez. They've been dominating the line early on. 2:01 to go first quarter, second possession of the game for Sacramento. And their quarterback, Julian Ogan, will try and get them going against a tough Spirit defense. I formation for Sacramento. Deep back is Dante Thomas. Oh, and there's a penalty for Sacramento. The fullback fell forward. That was number 34. Deontay McCullough, who left early, so not a good start for Sacramento.
No, and it looks to me, looking at the Sacramento line, they're big boys. One guy's about 6'6", 350, it looks like, number 64. But you know, when you got quickness against size, usually it looks like today, especially quickness can prevail. They might have been trying to jump the gun a little bit to get a head start. So we'll see how this progresses down the road here.
The Sacramento offense on their first possession tried to run up the gut of the Spirit defense to no avail. So we'll see if they can exploit some speed on the outside, because what they did early certainly didn't work. 2 receivers for Sacramento in the I formation on 1st and 15, ball at their own 36. Give is to the up back, fumble on the play. We'll figure out who's got it. It appears as if Sacramento maintains possession, so they're having a hard time even completing a simple handoff, Gino.
Yeah, you know, they're trying to do some quick pops, some quick traps over the guards and the tackles, but it looks like, you know, the Spirit interior line are plugging those holes really quick, so Sacramento's going to have to come up with a different game plan, I'm afraid, Joe. They got to maybe try the outside and get the ball to the receiver and see what happens.
Clock winds down here in the first quarter with 1:20 to play. Sacramento now, after a 5-yard penalty, loses a yard, so they've got 2nd and 16 from their own 35. Split back formation. Again, the give is to number 44. Dante Thomas, he falls forward for a few yards. Brought down by the linebacker for the Spirit, number 55, Maurice Lee. Short gain there for Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't know if they were trying to catch the Spirit off guard there by, you know, 2nd and long, maybe thinking pass. Quick trap again up the middle. Got a few yards, but they're going to have to open it up a little bit. I don't think they're going to get through that interior line of the Spirit today, running that play all day.
3-yard gain. Ball marked at the 37 of Sacramento will bring up a 3rd and 14. They have to get to the 49 of Santa Cruz, so daunting task facing the Grizzlies here early in what looks like could be the last play of the first quarter. Single back formation behind Ogan. Spirit threaten a blitz. Ogan back deep to pass, steps up in the pressure, goes deep left side, receiver knocked down. No flag called, thrown I should say. Defended there, double team by David Adams and Jamil Vaughn for the Spirit. Number 88, that was R.J. Bradley on the pattern for Sacramento. Did you happen to see that, Gino? Was that an incidental contact? Did he trip on his own, or was there a penalty?
Yeah, no, it looked like incidental contact. First of all, he was double covered. He got away from the pass rush. The quarterback threw it. A little bit short, so the receiver tried coming back, got his feet tangled, went down. It was a good call, in my opinion.
And good defense by Santa Cruz. As I said, David Adams and Jamil Vaughn were blanketing Bradley there. So that forces a punt here. And another one for Sacramento. That goes a little better. It's hit out of to the side. Some rough stuff interior-wise there. Number 91, Shea Ackerley, and number 52 for Sacramento. That was Noah Byer. They got tangled up. But punt was out of bounds. 1 second to go in the first quarter. Santa Cruz will take over with excellent field position once again. Ball marked just short of their own 45. So they'll look to add to a 3-0 lead. And again, the defense did their job, Gino.
Yeah, no, they look good today, Joel. Not giving up anything inside on the run. Passing-wise, quarterback scrambling, trying to make a tough play. Receivers are double covered. And hey, they're giving their offense excellent field position. You know, it should be a long day for Sacramento if they keep giving Santa Cruz this kind of field position.
And we're just going to go ahead and call it 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. This will be the last play of the first quarter, folks. We promise. 1 second to go. Single back with De La Paz in the shotgun. 2 receiver set. Torres in motion. De La Paz looks to throw. He's going deep on the right side. He's got Harrington open, complete for a first down. Harrington drags a couple defenders forward. He falls forward to the 40-yard line of Sacramento. Pickup of 15 yards. Great way to end the quarter for the Spirit.
Boy, that was a nice pass by De La Paz. He fired it to his big tight end, which is nice to have a huge target like that. One-on-one coverage. He got behind the linebackers, made the reception, carried a couple guys. And once again, great field position for Santa Cruz. They keep this up all day. It's going to be fun to watch if you're an offensive football fan.
We're going to call that a 15-yard play for Harrington, so a great job by De La Paz to find his tight end. So that ends the first quarter with Santa Cruz ahead 3-0. So Jim Clark walks back to the sideline. He's pumped his team up during that timeout. We'll see if it pays off here as they face a 1st and 15. Ball at the Sacramento 45-yard line. Single back behind De La Paz is Bourgeon. 3 receiver set for the Spirit. Bourgeon with a quick give up the middle, breaks 1 tackle. He's met, fumble, puts the ball on the ground. It appears as if Sacramento got it. We'll uncover the bodies and see. Wait for an official signal. All the Sacramento players, and there it is. Yes, Sacramento recovered it. Number 9, James Hawley on the recovery. And he made the hit as well. So a great play there individually by Hawley. Turns this game around. Suddenly now Sacramento with the ball at their own 45.
Yeah, Bourgeon once again gets that quick kick up the middle, 4 or 5 yards, but I hate to say it, there's that lack of experience. He's running high, carrying the ball high. He's a big boy, big target. He runs a little bit lower, protects the ball a little more, he'll have a little bit more success. But hey, you know, he'll learn, and that's what we're all about out here, is having fun and learning. So we'll see what happens.
1st and 10 now for Sacramento. They go back to their I formation behind their quarterback, Julian Ogan. 1st and 10 at their own 45. Ogan gives to number 44 on the outside. He broke 1 tackle, but couldn't break a second and a third. Again, swarming defense by the Spirit outside. That was Jamil Vaughn who hit him first, and then he got some help from Maurice Lee. So nice initial run there by Dante Thomas, but he couldn't get a second and third break there, Gino.
Yeah, Thomas escaped the pressure early, right at the line of scrimmage. Vaughn came up and hit him, and the great thing about that play was he missed the first tackle, but he actually came back around, followed himself down the line, and ended up stopping and making the tackle for the Spirit. That was a nice play by Vaughn.
Their defense clearly the quicker against this Grizzly team, which is big but doesn't appear to have the Spirit speed. So they're going to give him a no gain on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 45. Single back now behind Ogan. 5-man front for the Spirit. Someone jumped early. We'll see who it was. Damon Hansen claims it was Sacramento. And if he's staring at you with his nostrils flaring, it's no surprise that they would be jumping. And no, despite Hansen's demonstrative actions there, it went against him. So offsides on the Spirit, it'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, there's Hansen's tenacity right there. He's a pretty excitable guy. I did think I saw the Sacramento jump, but officials saw it different, so back the Spirit up. Finally, Sacramento's got some field position, so let's see what they can do.
That was actually one of the few positive plays for Sacramento, and it came on a penalty. Gain of 5 yards, ball just short of midfield. It'll be 2nd and 5. And again, it's single back behind Ogan. Quick give is to that single back. Falls across midfield to the 48. Tackle that time by Hansen. carrier for Sacramento was number 44. That's Dante Thomas, so that'll set up a 3rd and short.
You know, we played a quarter, Joel, and I've seen from Sacramento maybe 5 plays. Trap left, trap right, a couple passing plays. I don't see a lot of success up the middle, although it's starting to open up a little bit, but I don't know. I'd like to see him open it up a little bit more. Maybe get some speed. Looks like they got a bunch of big guys, but not a lot of speed. And I don't know if that's gonna help too much against this very quick, very large Spirit defense.
3rd and 3, ball at the 48 of the Spirit. Ogun with a single back behind him. Feints back to pass. He's got time, steps up in the pocket. Intended receiver was number 5 that time, Kenny Taylor. Ball a bit underthrown, coverage that time by Richard Torres of the Spirit, so that'll set up a 4th and 3.
You can almost look at that as positive for the Grizzlies right there. The quarterback actually had some time to throw, and the receiver had to step on the DB. If he makes a good play there, that could be, if he makes a good throw, it's a big play for Sacramento. Gets them, right back in this game. They're only down 3. That's not going to take much to get back in this game. So a little positive there for the Grizzlies. They can work out into their offense a little bit more. Could be an exciting game.
Ogun displaying a strong arm that time, but just couldn't quite make the connection, so that'll force a punt here. Back deep for the Spirit, that's number 11, Santos Garcia. Punt, snap is low. Punter handles it, though, and gets off a great kick. Garcia catches it at his own 7-yard line. Gets outside, and he's got blockers. Garcia at the 20, 25-30, 35-40, 45-50. One man to beat. He cuts back at the 30. Garcia all the way down to the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Santos Garcia takes it 93 yards. And just like that, the Spirit with a 9-0 lead. And who made the big block there, Gino?
I don't know, Joel, but S.K. Lundgren, the kicker, the punter on that play, he was the one man who came off the sideline. I the number of the train that ran over him because I heard it. I tell you, I heard it, and when I looked up, he was still on the ground as the Spirit were celebrating the end zone. So luckily, he walked off the field under his own power. But what a great block by the Spirit. The whole team actually was on the left side of the field. There was a nice little train to lead the runner right into the end zone. Great play.
First block that I saw was delivered by the tight end out here, Robert Harrington, and that kind of set up the wall for Garcia. And Santos Garcia out of Santa Cruz High School was not on the opening day roster, as I mentioned, but fortunately for Jim Clark, he's out here now because that was an impressive run. PAT is blocked. Sacramento look to return it, and they are allowed to do it. He's going to go all the way. I believe this will give him a 2-point play. That's number 88, R.J. Bradley. So the kick by Romero was blocked. And now we've got a penalty. So we'll see what's going on. R.J. Bradley went untouched once he picked that ball up. Kick never really had a chance by Romero. But judging by the early indications from the Spirit side of the ball, it's going to come back. We'll see what the referees have to say here as we try and sort this out. We've got a clipping against Sacramento. Not sure if they're going to call that as a clip after the block. Be nice if the refs had microphones, but we don't enjoy that here in the Amateur Adult Football League. We got a chop block declined by Santa Cruz. So yeah, it's no play. Okay, so Gino, we'll let you clarify this.
Looks like the play was developed. Ball was blocked. During the run back, there was a clip which nullifies the points. but also since it was after the block, nullifies the retry of the extra point, so we're going to kick it off. No point being scored on either team.
Okay, so it's 9-0 your score. Santa Cruz is going to kick off after an impressive, spectacular touchdown run by Santos Garcia. We called it 93 yards up here. And so now Santa Cruz will be kicking off with a 9-0 lead. And Sacramento has got to be shell-shocked after that return. Couple of huge blocks, as I said. First one was delivered by tight end Robert Harrington, and then Garcia just followed the wall, made a nice cutback at about the 35, which is when the kicker was laid out, as Gino told you earlier. And then he just sprinted into the end zone. So Spirit with early momentum here. 12:02 to go first half. They have a 9-0 lead. And the way their defense is played, it might as well be 90-0. Back deep for Sacramento, it's number 81. Kick is caught by the short man at the 30. Cuts a couple blocks, cuts across, tries to cut back, and now he's going to be gang tackled. Takes about 4 guys to bring him down. He finally is brought down at about the 35-yard line. Demetrius Robinson, the carrier that time. Actually, that's number 21. Yeah, Demetrius Robinson. Got it right the first time. And a plethora of Santa Cruz defenders there bringing him down. Too numerous for us to mention. So Sacramento will have the ball, down 9-0, ball at their own 35. What do they do now against this defense, Gino?
I'd like to see him maybe throw a little bit more, maybe a little play action, throw some screens. You know, they got to mix it up. You can't keep jamming it down this defense because it's not working. I mean, it's not working. And the thing I really like about Santa Cruz is they gang tackle. It's not one guy on the tackle. It's 3, it's 4. They're sprinting the ball. They're tackling as a team, which if you're a defensive coach, boy, you got to love that.
New quarterback into the game for Sacramento is number 18. And that's actually number 16, I beg your pardon. That's Sal DiPaolo. And he came out throwing, incomplete pass over the middle. They've got a penalty on the play. But we'll see what Sacramento does now with a different quarterback. We've got a defensive hold against the Spirit, so perhaps that's why the pass fell incomplete. So a 5-yard hold there. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down. So Sacramento with the ball at their own 45.
Hey, maybe they heard me. They put in a new quarterback. Maybe he's got a better arm. I don't know, but they came out throwing. You got to figure after their last offensive possession, they actually gained a couple yards, a little momentum going, and then bam, you know, you get hit with a kick return, set you right back. So we'll see if they can regroup, and they're throwing another quarterback and see if he's got some better tools.
DiPaolo in the I formation. He's got 2 receivers. Give us to the back. Bradley up the middle. Oh, and like a pinball, he stays up, bouncing off defenders. 11-yard gain on the play. Dante Thomas, like a wrecking ball through the line of the Spirit defense. Ball marked at Santa Cruz's 44, so that time they were able to go up the middle.
Well, the success there was 55 Maurice Lee lined up and actually blitzed. He blitzed on the right side. They trapped back on the left, went right by him. So you're losing a tackler right there. There was a hole, and he hit it. And that running back, he's a fire plug. He's bouncing off. He's running hard. He's running low. So he's going to be tough to handle if he gets to the low.
Dante Thomas, we don't have height and weight, as we said, but we can tell you he's big, he's strong, and he showed us something there. 11-yard gain, ball at the Spirit 44. Give us again to Thomas. He goes left side, bounces off, goes outside. He's going to fall forward. He keeps the pile moving. Impressive run that time by Dante Thomas. Another first down. Down to the Spirit 31-yard line, 13-yard gain.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to take Hansen out of the mix here. Santa Cruz is moving their defense around. Their linebackers, their ends are moving up and down the line and in and out of the holes in the defensive alignment. And, you know, Sacramento's guessing right, I guess you might say, and they're getting that quick opening. And Thomas, he's through there in a hurry. He gets some, like I said, he got some opening. He's gone. Looks good.
Back-to-back big runs by Thomas earns him a breather. So now into the game is number 34 for Sacramento. That's Deontay McCullough. And the give is to the up back McCullough for no gain. DePaulo that time handing off, and Santa Cruz was all over it. Hansen was there, and he was joined by Ackerley and the whole line, really.
Yeah, there's the difference right there. Just talent-wise, you take out your, obviously must be their star running back. Next guy comes in, little hesitation at the line, cannot do that with Spirit. They're too fast, they regroup too quickly, and 3 guys are on them in a heartbeat.
No gain that time. It'll be 2nd and 10. Ball still at the Santa Cruz 31 as we're inside 10 minutes to go. First half, Santa Cruz with a 9-0 lead. Split backs now behind DePaulo. 2 receivers for the Grizzlies on 2nd and 10. DePaulo looks to pass. He's pressured up the middle. He's hit as he throws. Ball falls incomplete. Big hit delivered that time by Shea Ackerley. And Hansen was back there as well, so if Ackerley hadn't have gotten him, Hansen would have. Another big play for the Spirit defensive line.
Yeah, once again, the big line, the speed and the agility gets in there. It doesn't look like DePaulo's got the same athletic abilities the last quarterback for the Grizzlies. He doesn't have that scrambling ability, so if he doesn't have time, it's going to be trouble for him with the quickness around the ends coming in for the Spirit.
No gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 10 for Sacramento. Ball at the Spirit 31. I formation now behind DePaulo. 2 receiver set. See what the Grizzlies bring out here on 3rd and 10. Fake, and looked like a miscommunication there. You certainly don't want the slow-footed DePaulo running. He's brought down for no gain by number 23, Dave Phillips. The defensive back was filling the hole there and sniffed out that play, which was obviously a breakdown for Sacramento.
Yeah, new quarterback, coming in, a little bit of miscommunication, but I'm telling you, he's lucky Ackerley didn't get him because it was one-on-one, and he gave him a little sidestep, thank God, or else we could have had some another one laying on the grass here.
No gain on the play there for DePaulo, so it's now 4th and 10. Ball at the Spirit 31. Last 3 plays have netted 0 yards for Sacramento. But they're going to go for it. Why not? They're down 9-0. Clock ticking inside 9 minutes to go in the half. Too far for a field goal, too close to punt. They're going to go for it. Lone back is Thomas. DePaulo back to pass. He's pressured up the middle. Lamar Brooks was there first. Hansen and Emmanuel Perez there to clean it up along with Ray Gibson. Huge sack that time for the Spirit. Lamar Brooks got in there first.
Well, for a 300-pound guy, that looked like a track sprint because he was off the line. I don't think anybody touched him. He's coming from a defensive tackle spot. He was in on the quarterback before you could even say hi, guy. I think he knows the plays.
Lamar Brooks made some big sacks for the Spirit in their season opening win here against Hollister, and he got in the backfield that time and disrupted the play. So that was 4th down, folks, which means the Spirit take over where the sack took place, which was the 40-yard line. So again, great field position for the Spirit. Single back behind De La Paz is Beltran. Give us to Beltran, left side, cuts through the line before being drilled by number 8. That is Roman Hernandez with the tackle for the Grizzlies, but not before Beltran got 5 yards.
It was a nice little play, little trap from right to left. One-on-one, and just didn't beat the DB there. He came up and made a nice stick, but it was a nice play for the Spirit.
Beltran with a 5-yard gain. He checks out. Bourgeon checks in. It'll be 2nd and 5 at their own 45. So the Spirit with a score here as we're now at the 8-minute mark of the half. They're already up 9-0. Could really put Sacramento in a hole here. 4 receiver set for De La Paz, single back Bourgeon. Gives to Bourgeon up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, gets out to the right side, takes 2 men to bring him down. He gets about 3 yards on the play. He'll be just short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short.
Looks like you got a little coaching on the sidelines, Joel. He came through the line much lower and with 2 hands on the ball after that last fumble. So he can do that, hold on the ball, and that guy gets low. I don't know who's going to stop him.
And once again, hobbling to the sidelines for Santa Cruz, it's Eden Renero. So that's twice now Renero has had to limp off. That toe is giving him some problems. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 1, ball at the 48-yard line. Spirit need to get to midfield. And it's a quick snap. De La Paz falls across midfield. He gets the first down. Great job by De La Paz on the quick snap into Sacramento territory. 1st and 10, Santa Cruz.
They caught him napping a little bit. He's been going kind of on a long count all day, barking out some good orders. He stepped up, and it must have been a touch play where you walk up behind the center, and the quarterback just kind of gives him a little tap there on the back, and only those two really need to know what's going on. So he gained 3 yards, got the first down, keeps the drive alive.
Great communication between De La Paz and his center, Emmanuel Perez. Actually, we may have a different center in there. I'll check the number. I apologize. Either way, it's a first down for the Spirit. Beltran, the lone back behind De La Paz, in a 2-receiver set. Beltran, right side. He's got room. Breaks through. Gets across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Will be close to a first down. Great run that time by Anastasio Beltran.
Yeah, a little dive right by Beltran. Sacramento brought their middle backer up in towards the middle of the line. Santa Cruz kicked it out to the right. There was some field there, and Beltran took advantage of it, got to the sidelines in a nice run.
It was enough for a first down. Ball marked at the 38 of Sacramento. Or no, I'm sorry, it was just short. I apologize. It'll be 2nd and inches from the 38. They're not going to measure. 6:20 to go first half. 4-receiver set now. Beltran, the lone back, behind De La Paz on 2nd and short. They may want to go long here. We'll see. De La Paz, he's going on the right side. Oh, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver Henry Torres took a big hit from the safety there for Sacramento, number 5, Kenny Taylor. So now it'll be 3rd and short.
Not a bad play, though. 2nd down, inches. I think you're going to give it to the big guy up the middle. Rolls out, throws it just a little low for the receiver to handle, but I like the play. I like the call. It was there. If you make it happen, it's a great play. If not, hey, you still got another down to pick up, what, a half a yard? So it's good.
And a smart throw that time by De La Paz. He was the only one that could have caught it was Torres, so he didn't put himself in danger of throwing an interception there, which is certainly what the Spirit want to avoid on a play like that. No need to gamble when you're up 9, 2nd and short. Now it's 3rd and short. And again, it's a quick snap. De La Paz up the middle. Another first down, so Sacramento does not have an answer for that. Finally tackled by Jason Benton as De La Paz likes it. He's gotten 2 first downs on that play, and he celebrates that feat in front of the crowd. They're moving the chains here, Gino. Clock winds. We approach 6 minutes to go. Ball at the Sacramento 34.
Yeah, they're beating down Sacramento's defense. Like we've said all day, they're big, but they're not fast, and looks like they're getting a little tired. That was a nice play by De La Paz. I'm not sure he wants to run into 56 much today. He looks like a Lawrence Taylor type of a linebacker, likes to hit. So 5'8", 160, I don't know. But he looks good. He's hanging in there.
Lone back is Bourgeon, and he gets the ball left side. Runs over one, takes on a second, finally brought down by a third. Get the number of that truck, number 4, John Oliver. Check his vision, folks. He got drilled by Bourgeon that time. Gain of 1, Gino, but sometimes you don't measure gains in terms of yardage.
No, that was like 20 yards because Bourgeon hit number 4, poor guy, and he's running high, and I don't understand it, but when you got a big guy, why do people come in and try to tackle the guy above the waist? He got drilled. He got rocked, and he's on the ground looking at him go by him. I mean, you gotta tackle low. I know these guys. Maybe some of them didn't play a lot of ball, but boy, you won't tackle him high again.
If he hadn't learned it before, he certainly learned it now. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9, ball at the 33. 4-receiver set, Bourgeon the lone back. De La Paz barking signals. Fake to Bourgeon, looks for left side, right side. Alejandrez is out there. Oh, in and out of the hands of Danny Alejandrez. A beautiful pass by De La Paz. Alejandrez got behind the defender, number 21. That was Demetrius Robinson on the coverage. But Alejandrez was behind him, Gino.
Yeah, from our angle, I almost thought that could have been a pick. It looked like Robinson had the angle, but the ball, he threw a nice ball. It was kind of a fade-out pattern. In his hands, should have been caught, but live to try another play.
De La Paz has shown his legs here with his running, and now he's shown an impressive throwing arm here. Hit a beautiful pass there to Alejandro's. They had everything but the catch. And now we've got a 3rd and 9. Apparently they're forcing Beltran to come in for Bourgeon, who has some blood on his uniform, or blood on his elbow. So that forces Bourgeon to the bench. Beltran in. 3rd and 9, ball at the 34. 4:45 to go, first half. Alejandro splits right side. Gagiri, Torres, and the tight end Harrington on the left side. De La Paz in the shotgun. He looks left side, steps up, passes in and out of the hands of David Gagiri, who was open, and another beautifully thrown ball by De La Paz. 2 plays in a row, Gino, everything but the catch.
Yeah, no, the plays are right on. Actually, that time it was a nice play. They ran Harrington, the big tight end, up the field with Gagiri coming behind him. So 2 guys took Harrington. Obviously, he's caught in a couple balls today for some good gains, right in the hands of Gagiri, but just couldn't hang on.
And again, we're at that part of the field where it's too long for a field goal, too short for a punt. So on 4th and 9, the Spirit will go for it. Again, it's De La Paz in the shotgun. 4 receivers, Beltran the lone back. De La Paz has time, steps up, looks down the middle. He's got a man. Alejandro catches the ball at the 10, bounces off a receiver. He's going to sprint to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Danny Alejandro with a beautiful catch and run, amending his earlier drop, and just like that, it's 15-0. Another well-thrown ball by De La Paz, and what a run by Alejandro, the 5'7", 165-pounder out of SoCal. Took a couple hits, but kept his balance, and then won the sprint to the corner. What a play.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a well-executed play. They ran the slant pattern, wide open in the middle. De La Paz hits him on the run. Once again, we've been saying it all day. Defense comes up, hits him high. He hits him in the shoulder pads. He bounces off and sprints for the corner and scores a touchdown. They got to start tackling low, or everybody's got to tackle low. It's just, you cannot tackle these guys up high. They're too quick and they're too strong.
Sacramento facing a big deficit here, 15-0. Romero, no, they're going to fake it. De La Paz, oh, and that was dangerous. He is lucky he still has his helmet on his head, as number 8 for Sacramento came in on the blitz. That was Roman Hernandez. He was joined by number 21 for Sacramento, Demetrius Robinson. Unfortunately, De La Paz ducked out of the way just in time. So the fake no good, and like you said, Gino, only one quarterback on this roster. I don't know if we like that decision up here.
Not my favorite call, but I love De La Paz. He comes off smiling after he gets rocked. So you got to like a guy that gets up and can take a punch. But like you said, Joel, one quarterback. They got 15-point lead, and their defense is strong, and they can hold them. But hate to see the guy come out on a trick play when you're up and dominating a football game.
And it would have been nice, I think, from our perspective, to see Romero get a chance to kick after having his last one blocked, maybe to build his confidence back. But either way, the Spirit with a 15-0 lead, 4:29 to go first half. In a first half that has been dominated by the home team here. Romero will do the kicking here once again for the Spirit. Back deep for Sacramento. It's number 81, James Alvarez. And the kick. Romero gets off a good kick. Ball fumbled, finally picked up. Sacramento now left side. Ball at the 30, still up. Kicks a pile, and he still refused to go down. That was R.J. Bradley for Sacramento. James Hawley was number 9 there, who initially fumbled it, but fortunately for him, Bradley there to clean it up and actually got a good return out of it. Ball marked at the 34 of Sacramento, 1st and 10. They've got 4:16 to go and do something. And Gino, they've got their initial quarterback back in the game, Julian Ogan. So a short stint for number 16, Sal DePaulo.
Yeah, Logan's got more mobility, and with the speed of the Spirit defense, you got to have someone that can make something happen, scramble away, make a play on his own, or run it if he has to. I don't think they got that with the quarterback they brought in, so they bring back the starter, and they got 4 minutes to see if they can get some positive going into the locker room.
Ogan with a split back set, 2 receivers, and he looks to throw over the middle quickly. It's caught barely by number 8, Nick Castillo, the tight end. He gets about 6 yards on the play, and he remains on the ground. But not injured, just took him a while to get up. So a nice play there, a confidence builder perhaps for Ogan in the offense.
Well, that time was a good play. They're using the quickness of the Spirit to their advantage. The line rushes in, they send the tight end right in back of the linebackers. He was wide open, and he's a big guy. Doesn't look very mobile, but if they can get 5-6 yards of pop, you can move the ball down the field.
Ball marked down at the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3. They need to get to the 43 for a first down. Deep back, Dante Thomas behind Ogan on 2nd and short. Spirit threaten a blitz. 8-man front. Quick give is to Thomas up the middle. He runs impressively once again. First down. He gets it across the 45 to the 48 of the Spirit. So again, a great run up the middle by Dante Thomas. They've done that quite effectively the last couple possessions, Gino.
Yeah, he must have 40 yards on 4 carries the last 4 touches he's had. They're running him straight up the middle. Santa Cruz is piling their linebackers in the holes. You get a shoulder on a guy and turn him, and with the speed of Thomas, he gets by him. He's got 6-7 yards of open field. But I'd like to see the Spirit step back and play a traditional, plug the hole linebacker type of role. So maybe give up 2 yards, but not that big pop of 10 to 15.
1st and 10, ball at the 48. Sacramento looking to get on the board. Again, the Spirit threaten a blitz, and perhaps they do so over anxiously as there was movement on the line. And it doesn't matter what the call is. 100% of the time, the defenders are going to point at the offense, and the offense will point at the defense. So they always think they're right, but in this case, Santa Cruz jumped again.
Yeah, same old game. You did it, I did it. But there's another case right there, Joe. You got the linebackers from Santa Cruz. They're jumping up into the holes, and hopefully, not hopefully for the home team, but Sacramento quarterback catches him in that hole and can get Thomas in there quickly. They can run that play effectively all day. The Spirit keep jumping into those holes, jumping in and out like they're going to blitz. And if they get caught in the middle, it's very tough to recover from a defensive perspective.
5-yard penalty sets up 1st and 5, ball in Santa Cruz territory at the 48. Clock runs, 2:20 to go, first half. Split back formation behind Ogan. Quick pass outside, it's complete. Nice straight arm that time, but he holds on. Another nice tackle by Jamil Vaughn. But it appears as if they got the first down there. Another impressive play by R.J. Bradley. He points for a first down. It's going to be very close. May even need a measurement here. As the officials are looking. No, they're going to give him the first down. Don't know how he could just eye that and give it to him, but he did. So the ball now at the Santa Cruz 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Clock runs, though, 1:50 to go to the first half.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Sacramento's not taking a timeout. They got a little offensive momentum. Great play by 88 there. Looks like he's the athlete of the team. They might want to get the ball in his hands a little bit more, but once again, a great play by Vaughn to make one-handed tackles, save a big gain.
Vaughn held on despite that impressive straight arm delivered by Bradley. 1st and 10, lone back is McCullough. Again, they go to Bradley right side, but this time the Spirit sniff it out. That's Will Lenzner, the linebacker on the play. Little or no gain that time. Nice play by Lenzner.
Yeah, Lenzner was in the middle of the field playing a middle linebacker role, and he saw that all the way. He started sprinting before the ball was snapped, and he was there just as the receiver caught it. So a great play by Lenzner right there.
They're actually going to mark it for a yard loss that time, so it'll be 2nd and 11 for Sacramento. Clock stopped as Bradley was tackled out of bounds. So with 1:23 to go, Sacramento down 15-0, trying to put something on the board before halftime. Deep back behind Odom is Deontay McCullough. Thomas the up back. Thomas that time. Thomas and Hansen moving. Hansen pointing at the line, but I saw the running back, Dante Thomas, move as well, and they caught him. So Sacramento backing itself up, 5-yard penalty. Now they have it, 2nd and 16 at the 48.
Yeah, you know, you got an athlete like Brantley for the Grizzlies, and they're lining him up to the short side of the field. He's only got about 5 yards to the sideline. Trust me, Joel, I'm definitely no coach, and I don't know what their plays are, but I'd like to see him get on the wide side of the field, then give him the ball so he's got some room to operate. It looks like he's got some moves, he's got some speed. Right now, in fact, he's lining up on the opposite side of the field, so hey, I think they're listening to me again, Joel. I don't know, if they're tapped into us up here.
Got an earpiece over there on the Sacramento sideline because they've done just that. 2nd and 18 now for Ogun. Feints back to pass and looks Bradley's side. He goes for him out there. Double team, though, and the pass was broken up and almost intercepted by David Adams. The free safety was camped under it as if it were a punt. Jamil Vaughn had the initial coverage on Bradley, and the pass just kind of led him right into Adams. So good double coverage there by the Spirit secondary.
Yeah, the safety did his job there. Adams came over and actually had the interception. Bradley did a great job of knocking the ball out of Adams' hands. It would have been a turnover. And there's a point right there, Joel. Hansen has the mean rush. Quarterback's got a little mobility, steps up, is able to actually get the play off. So good move on Sacramento to put their starting quarterback back in the game.
Although, Gino, I must say that I thought he could have taken off and run to that side of the field because of Bradley's threat. He drew the defenders away. It looked like Ogun had room to run. Anyways, 3rd and 18, ball at the 48. Ogun fakes the reverse. Nice play, spins away from 1 and 2, but he's finally drilled from behind. Ray Gibson, the linebacker, missed him the first time, but came back to get him the second time. So nice resilience there by number 38, Ray Gibson, and Ackerley was in on it as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the offensive line was. I looked up and saw nothing but purple. Big guy, what's his name? Lamar Brooks. He's just waiting there. They funneled him right back into him, and he made the sack. And once again, gang tackling, low, hard gang tackling. That's something that Sacramento's not done today, and it's cost them a couple big plays.
Clock winds now. We're inside 30 seconds to go in the half. Sacramento will punt. Ball's at midfield. They've got 4th and a mile. So back deep to receive is the dangerous Santos Garcia. And they may fake it, but no, it's a bad snap. So they kick it again. A beautiful punt drives Garcia back, and he's just going to let it roll out of bounds. So a beautiful punt by number 13 for Sacramento. That is S.K. Lewengrath. So, wow, he pins it at the 5-yard line. Got off a great kick off a bad snap, and Garcia smartly let it roll out of bounds. So with 7 seconds to go in the half, the Spirit would be wise to just take a knee and enjoy this beautiful first half of football that they've played. They have a 15-0 lead. No reason to risk anything here.
No, you know, take a knee or give it to the big guy for a couple yards. They've had a great first half. Go into the locker room, regroup a little bit, take a breather, come out and play another strong second half. There's no reason for them to lose this game at this point.
We'll see what they decide to do. Jim Clark has shown himself to be a bit of a daredevil in play calling, but we would actually dare say foolish if he tries something here, and he's not foolish. He has De La Paz take a knee. So that's it. We've reached halftime here from San Lorenzo Valley High School, a half dominated by the home team, the Santa Cruz Spirit. They lead the Sacramento Grizzlies 15-0. We'll be back for the third quarter in just a minute.
You wouldn't let your friend jump off a bridge.
You wouldn't let your friend come to school with a gun.
You wouldn't let your friend drive drunk.
So why would you let your friend be abusive?
Verbal and emotional abuse are domestic violence.
They are warning signs that can lead to physical violence.
If it is your friend, it is your business.
For help and more information, call 3062.
Back for the second half of action here from San Lorenzo Valley High School. Joel Domhoff alongside Gino Panelli. Glad you could join us for Community Television's presentation of amateur adult football. Today, the Santa Cruz Spirit have jumped out all over the Sacramento Grizzlies. They lead 15-0 at halftime. Their offense was impressive. Special teams, they got a punt return, but most of all, their defense has pitched a shutout, and they will be on the field first here as the Spirit kick off to open the second half. Ball caught by the up back. That's Demetrius Robinson. He brings it across the 40. Nice return, 45, close to midfield. Nice return for Sacramento to open the second half.
Yeah, well, there I go. I got to eat my words because high tackling. He broke a couple tackles that were up around the shoulder pads, and he's a speedy guy. Got down the sidelines, gives them good opening field position. Sacramento needs some momentum. They got to come out strong. See if that Spirit defense can hang tough.
They're going to mark the ball at the 46-yard line of Sacramento. So, as you said, great field position to open the half. And we'll see if Jim Clark's defense can hold the fort here against a Sacramento offense that sputtered early but showed signs of life as the half closed. They were able to get their running back, Dante Thomas, some big gains, and their quarterback, Julian Ogan, made some nice throws as well. I formation for Sacramento on 1st and 10. Ogan is in there. R.J. Bradley in motion. Give us to the up back, who is just gang tackled by
Mark
Santa
Brooks,
Cruz.
Mark Brooks right in there on the play. Met him head on. Took him down for, looks like no gain.
No gain there, and we've got an injury on the field. We'll check the number there. It may be Maurice Lee, the stud linebacker for the Spirit. Jim Clark obviously concerned. Walks out onto the field. And as I'm checking the rest of the numbers that are standing for the Spirit, I think it is Maurice Lee. He was part of that mass of Spirit rushers, and it was Lee, but he gets up off his own power.
Yeah, it looks like he got caught at the bottom of the pile. Thomas kept the pile driving, and of course, big Lamar Brooks was on top, so Lee could have been the brunt of all that weight on the bottom of the pile there.
Sigh of relief for Jim Clark as his star linebacker seems to be okay, just had his bell rung. Loss of 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11 for Sacramento. Ball at their own 45.
Well, they came out running Thomas, Joel. Let's see if they stick to that game plan, and had some success in the first half.
Split back formation behind Ogan. 2 receiver set. And he's looking to pass. He's got a man over the middle, and it's broken up that time as they tried to complete it to the tight end, number 6, Nick Castillo. But number 40, Will Lensner, read it all the way and almost had an interception.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Lesnar. He seems to have real good instincts out there. He's been reading the plays really before they happen, and there's just another example. He got his hands on it. He could have taken it to the house right there, but just didn't hold on.
So that incomplete pass sets up a 3rd and 11 for Sacramento. So after a great kick return, they're in danger of, once again, not capitalizing on great field position. A minute has gone by here in the 3rd quarter. Spirit defense appears to be just as strong as their first half indicated. Split backs now again behind Ogan on 3rd and long. And that's got to be a false start. They do finally throw a flag. Give was to the up back. Number 44, Dante Thomas, got the carry, but they should have a penalty. That should have been a no snap there, Gino.
Yeah, the officials caught that a little late. It looks like the split out took off a little soon. Handoff went to Thomas. Once again, though, Joel, Lesnar read the play. He was in the backfield before anybody else, regardless of the offside. So he's having a heck of a game out there.
Well, they're going to go ahead and take the play, which was a 1-yard gain for Thomas. So it wasn't called a dead ball. It was called a penalty after the ball was snapped, which means Santa Cruz can decline the penalty and force a punt. So once again, 3 and out for Sacramento. They're forced to punt, and again, the man back there for Santa Cruz, the dangerous Santos Garcia. He took one 93 yards in the first half for a return.
They're setting up the return again.
Good punt. Garcia lets it bounce. It'll be tough to return this one, although he runs up and does fall forward with it. Gutsy play that time by Garcia. He got 5 yards out of it. Don't know if you want to see that every time, though.
I'm not sure Deion Sanders is playing today, but, 15-0. He took a chance. I guess these guys don't get to play as often as they like, so why not? But fun to watch, dangerous to do.
Sort of like an XFL situation. No fair catches allowed. Garcia would fit in well in that league.
Yeah, but I don't see the cheerleaders out here, Joel. It's a little bit different, Not stepping up to the XFL quite yet.
So Garcia's gutsy play got 5 yards out of it for Santa Cruz. So the ball marked at their own 24. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Spirit. Ricardo De La Paz, the quarterback. He's got Rich Bourgeon behind him. 3 receivers set again for Santa Cruz. De La Paz barks out the signals. Bourgeon left side, and they do finally hit him low. But he still fights forward, falls forward for a yard. They got him low that time, Gino, just as you said they should have done in the first half.
Yeah, they do that in the first half, and they might have a few less points up there, but good job on the defense right there. Someone grabbed him around his legs, stood him up, and then they got a chance to gang tackle. And you just need to stop him, Joey. One guy needs to get a hold of him. The rest of the guys swarm in, and you can't go anywhere. And no matter how big and strong you are, 5 against 1 doesn't usually bode too successful.
And I think the Spirit may have thought that they had an offside penalty that time. It appeared as if a couple of the players were just standing after the play started, anticipating a penalty. None was called. Bourgeon really the only guy that kept going, and he got a yard out of it, so it'll be 2nd and 9. Bourgeon now lines up in the split position. Lone back is Torres. De La Paz, keeper right side. May have been an option, but he was dragged down before he could do anything about it. And De La Paz feels as if he was face masked, and we'll check the call here.
It looks like they came out with an option play, Joel. They sent De La Paz down the line with the back behind him, obviously with the option to pitch or to keep it. He kept it, and you were right. There was a face mask call on the play.
Question will be, was it incidental 5 yards or intentional 15? And they're going to call it 15 yards. So big break for the Spirit. Ball marked all the way out at the 41 of Sacramento. Automatic first down. Spirit could really put the game away with a score here.
Oh, if they come out and score early in the third, it's, they can't be super confident on the other sidelines as it is, but you go up 22-0 with a lot of time left, and, it's going to be a long game for the Grizzlies.
Split backs now behind De La Paz as they bring Santos Garcia in alongside Bourgeon. New look for the Spirit. De La Paz gives to Garcia, who's going to throw. Garcia looks down the field. Pass is picked off by Sacramento, number 21 for the Grizzlies. We don't have a number on him. Oh, yes, we do. Demetrius Robinson with the interception. So a little trickery there for the Spirit, but it didn't work as the receiver was double teamed, Gino.
Yeah, he was double covered, and the ball was a good 5 to 7 yards short. I don't know, Joel. It is 15-0. They are dominating, but you come out with all these trick plays, these options, these quarterback keepers, these flea flickers. Don't you run your big guy, do the things that worked in the first half and put the game away, let some of these other guys get in the game maybe? I don't know. You know the coach better than I do. From watching him, looks like he's a risky type of guy. So yeah, we'll see what happens out here.
Jim Clark definitely not a conventional coach as far as what he tries to do, and that was evident there. As he could have, as you said, just continued to drive. But nonetheless, the Spirit lead 15-0. Ball marked at the 32 of Sacramento, 1st and 10. Split backs. Ogun looks to pass. Pump fakes right, throws left, short. He had a man open. That was number 82 that time, or was 88, I'm sorry, R.J. Bradley. And pass falls short, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they're staying with that little dump over the middle, trying to get the ball to their athletes, who's Bradley, who showed that earlier in the first half. Getting some time to throw, Joel. I still think, Santa Cruz could be putting them away. They're not putting the dagger in the back and really closing the door on this game, and just giving Sacramento new life every time they touch the ball.
12:17 to go, third quarter. 2nd and 10 for Sacramento. Again, it's split backs for the Grizzlies. And that time a miscommunication, though. But it's bouncing outside is number 34, McAllister. He's still on his feet, spins away. Great effort that time by Dante McCullough as he broke about 5 tackles before finally being brought down by Maurice Lee, who we're glad to see is back in the game, as well as Will Lenzner. And Lee is down again, but the man that's really hurt on this play is Deontay McCullough, the ball carrier on that play, as everyone got up slowly after that collision.
Yeah, he did a great job of running the ball right there, though. He kept his legs going. That's what every good running backs coach will teach you. Keep your legs driving, and he did that once again. For some reason, Santa Cruz comes out in the second half trying to tackle high. It looks like 3 of their tacklers right there, Joel, went for the ball instead of really wrapping and gang tackling with the success that they had in the first half.
Unfortunately for McCullough, by staying on his feet, he left his teammates open for penalties, and they got a 5-yard illegal block call that time. So that's really unfortunate for the Grizzlies. A great effort by McCullough, but one of his teammates, in an effort to help him in that long run, blocked illegally to the face. So 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Actually, it'll be a 10-yard penalty. So 2nd and a ton now as the ball's at the 24 of Sacramento, and they've got to get to the 42.
Just when Sacramento gets going, they get knocked back.
Shotgun formation now on 2nd and long. Ogun looks right. He's got a man open. That's Bradley. He falls down, gets back up. Is he allowed to do that? He wasn't touched. And a nice play by Bradley to get more yardage. He caught the Spirit sleeping that time.
I think Vaughn had a high school flashback right there. And I believe the rule in high school or in college is when your knee touches the ground, it's a dead ball. But as far as I can see, it's a live ball until you're touched. And Bradley went down, popped back up, and got 5 or 6 more yards out of it because the Spirit defense kind of fell asleep there and watched the play instead of tackling.
And actually, Gino, it appears as if they are going to say he was down once you make contact, because the ball is going to be marked at the 30-yard line, and Bradley clearly got past the 35 off that second effort, so they are going to say he was down initially. So
I wasn't sure he got touched there, Joel. Did you see the Spirit actually touch him on that reception? Looked like he caught the ball, fell to the ground, popped back up. I didn't see any contact, and I'm really not sure on that rule in this league, but obviously the officials are on it.
Well, I think they're going to just say when your knee touches, you're down. But, well, either way, it's 3rd and 11, ball at the 31-yard line for Sacramento. So, again, the Spirit defense in a great position for them. 3rd and long, they pretty much can expect a pass, so they can send a big pass rush here with their linemen up front.
I think they're lining up Bradley to the far side of the field, give him some room now. Looks like they're trying to get the ball a lot now.
Ogun with split backs behind him, looks to pass. He's got time, steps up in the pocket. He's got a man. Actually overthrows him, though, as the closest man to that play was the defensive back for the Spirit, number 23, Dave Phillips. So Ogun had time that time, just couldn't hit his receiver.
Yeah, he threw a nice ball. He's actually going to the backup quarterback right there, DePaulo, excuse me. He had a step, but the safety covered, did his job, knocked the ball down, and once again, Sacramento's got to give it up, Joel.
Another punt for the Grizzlies, which means we get another chance to see Santos Garcia. He's proven to be an exciting addition to this Spirit roster. He's returned 1 punt, 93 yards for a touchdown, and last time he unexpectedly picked a ball up that many thought he would just let roll. Shank of a punt that time, but Garcia ran over as if he wanted to return it. But before he could, it fell out of bounds. Another great field position for the Spirit. This time it'll be at their own 35. 1st and 10, 10 and a half to go, 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they better keep a body on Garcia, because as we've seen before, he'll run over and pick the ball up when you're not looking. So unfortunately, that was a bad punt. Still, once again, Santa Cruz, great field position. Sacramento's defense back on the field. Santa Cruz has really got to try to get a drive going, I think, and just put the game away.
And eat up some clock, too, as it's been a long 4.5 minutes that we've played here in this 3rd quarter. A lot of incompletions, penalties, and it's been slow moving. So certainly from Coach Clark's perspective, it would be nice to get the clock moving and eat up some time. And just as we say that, we've got a penalty.
Looks like he's counting to see if there's too many or not enough men on the field.
12. I've counted 12 here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 men on the field for Sacramento.
Yeah, another negative for Sacramento. Santa Cruz doesn't even have to run a play, and they're gaining yardage. Long day for the Grizzlies.
5-yard penalty for 12 men on the field puts the ball at the 40-yard line now. It'll be 1st and 5 for the Spirit. De La Paz running the controls for the Spirit. He's got Borjan behind him. Alejandra is split wide right. They keep Torres in close to the line along with Gagiri. Torres now in motion. Encroachment that time on Sacramento, so it appears as if it will be 2 penalties, 10 yards for the Spirit.
You gotta like not running a play and getting a first down. This is something you and I talked about at halftime. A lot of few penalties, few bad plays, consistent, good moving ball game. Come out in the second half, and I think it could be a tiredness factor. Guys getting a little tired, not in the greatest of shape. You can see guys starting to go down with little injuries. So, we'll see how the second half goes for both squads.
And certainly from the Sacramento perspective, being down 15, they're looking to make a play, and so perhaps a little antsy trying to force some action here. As their offense has struggled, perhaps the defense feels as if they have to score to give them a chance to win. Ball now at the 45-yard line as the Spirit have a 1st and 10. Borjan still behind De La Paz. Fake to Borjan, and De La Paz is drilled by number 56, Jason Benton. He's thrown for a loss.
There it is once again, Joel. De La Paz, the only quarterback on the team. They leave him out there alone. Blitzed by Sacramento, one-on-one, no contest. I'm not really clear on the play calling here for Santa Cruz in the second half. I thought they'd go to a more controlled offense, like you said, eat up some clock and put the game away, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and certainly Borjan hasn't touched the ball yet in the second half, and that doesn't bode well for the Spirit offense, as he has proven to be pretty much unstoppable. With the exception of one fumble in the first half, he was crucial to their offense. De La Paz out of the shotgun, looks down the field, overthrows Alejandrez. Pass deflected, almost picked off by number 27, Max Carter for the Grizzlies. But the ball falls incomplete, so it'll be 3rd and long for the Spirit.
He actually had an open receiver there, ball sailed on him a little bit. But he was open. It was a nice play. He had time to throw. Receiver ran a good route, and he was definitely open. They might look to that later on in the day, but once again, I haven't seen him run the ball one time in the second half.
3rd and 15 now for the Spirit. So we'll see what Coach Clark has for this situation as the defense rocks out on the bench in front of us here. They're feeling good about themselves and their game as Hanson, Ackerley, and Brooks are...
I like the hats, Joe. What do you think about those hats?
We got to like those hats, too. Ackerley and Hanson with some impressive headwear there.
Oh, that's nice. They might not wear their helmets and just go out with those. They could probably do the job the way they're playing.
All right, 3rd and long for the Spirit now. De La Paz again in the shotgun. Borjan is back there with him. Torres in motion. De La Paz rolls right, looks back to his left. He's got a man, Beltran, and he looked before he ran.
Had the whole field in front of him.
Unfortunate play there for Anastasio Beltran and the Spirit as they had a well-designed screen set up there, and De La Paz delivered the ball to him, but Beltran a little anxious there, looked upfield before he had it, so that'll force a punt now for the Spirit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was well-designed. The interior defensive line all bull rushed up the field to get the quarterback, and he threw behind him, and it looked like Santa Cruz had 4 or 5 blockers in front with only a couple green jerseys in front of them. He catches that ball, could have been a big play.
Back to punt for the Spirit. It'll be Santos Garcia. Our first
punts
look.
And returns the ball, huh?
Yeah, he does it
nice.
all. And now we've got a timeout called by Jim Clark. They're not sure of the personnel on the punt team. Garcia, a new player, as we've mentioned a few times for the Spirit, and first time we've seen him as a punter. The last week when we saw them play, it was the place kicker, Jose Romero, doing the punting as well. So perhaps a little confusion here. Jim Clark saw that, didn't want to take another penalty and back up even further, so he smartly calls timeout with 9:40 to go, third quarter. Spirit leading 15-0 in a game they've dominated. And now out of the timeout, we'll see if they have it straight. Back deep for Sacramento is number 88, R.J. Bradley, who we feel has been the best player on the field for Sacramento.
Yeah, it looks like Sacramento definitely needs to get the ball in his hands to make anything happen. And realistically, Joel, they're 2 scores away.
High snap handled by Garcia, but fortunately for him, the kick goes straight up in the air and bounces backwards. And finally down by the Spirit, number 52, Joe Stachula. So what was that, a 2-yard punt? Not very.
I thought it went backwards maybe. I'm not sure, but I think he should stick to returning them instead of punting them. But here we go right here, Joe. We got 15-0, dominating the football game. But there's Sacramento, past midfield, in position to score. And with the 2-point conversion, they're 2 scores away from winning the football game. Santa Cruz, I think, might be a little ahead of themselves. I think they need to tighten down and regroup and start playing like they did in the first half.
Sloppy beginning to the second half here for both sides. We're going to call that a 2-yard punt because the line of scrimmage was the 40, and it's now the 42. So Garcia got 2-yard punt there. Ball on the 42 of Santa Cruz. 1st and 10, Sacramento. Single back formation. Ogun, he's got pressure coming from Hanson, but he gets a pass off. Number 72 that time. That's Paul Cooper, the offensive lineman for Sacramento. He was the closest guy to the ball there, and he almost came up with a good catch.
That's not legal, is it? I don't know either, but he tried.
I think what happened, Gino, was the fullback, Dante Thomas, was out there for a screen, and he got caught up with Maurice Lee, and so as a result, the only guy out there was Cooper, and as we said, he almost came up with an incredible catch.
I think the lineman had a high school flashback and knocked Thomas out of the way because he wanted a piece of the ball. There again, though, Joel, there's Hanson with the rush all over the quarterback. I mean, he's a pretty impressive defensive player.
He has been wreaking havoc throughout this game, throughout this season for the Spirit. As we saw him against Hollister, he was equally impressive. Shotgun now for Sacramento on 2nd and 10. Split backs with Ogun. He looks over the middle, quick pass. That's complete to the tight end, number 6, Nick Castillo. Short gain for Sacramento, but anything positive for them at this point is a good thing.
Hey, they're in scoring position. I mean, 1 score, they're cutting the score in half, and they used that play once in the first half, and it actually worked. Like I said, he's a big tight end. Looks like he's about 6'5", 250. As long as he can catch the ball, he might break a tackle for a couple yards. So, Sacramento getting a little momentum. You never know. They could make it a ball game.
5-yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 5. Ball marked at the 37-yard line of Santa Cruz. Split backs again with Ogun, who remains in the shotgun. He's got R.J. Bradley split wide right. I can talk, can I? Deontay McCullough behind him. Ogun with a quick handoff to the fullback, but there's penalties everywhere. There's all kinds of movement. Dante Thomas was the carrier that time, but we had numerous flags there. We'll try and sort this one out.
Yeah, it looked like the left tackle jumped a little prematurely. The official on the sideline threw it after the guy was tackled, but in fact he did throw a flag, and that is the call. You're right, Joel. Offsides on the offense.
So a false start on Sacramento. They get a 5-yard gain to the tight end, but it's quickly nullified by a 5-yard penalty. So just like that, 3rd and 5 becomes 3rd and 10, ball at the 42. And that changes what you do, doesn't it, offensively?
Yeah, and that last call kind of surprised me. Thomas, of course, looks like their best back, but, not really getting a lot against the defense, and they try to do a little shovel draw, it looked like, and it went nowhere. It was going to go nowhere. I thought they might stay with their passing attack since they're actually getting some success from that. And obviously, they have to pass here in this 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 10 now. Again, Sacramento in the shotgun with their quarterback, Ogun. Snap bobble, but Ogun controls. He looks downfield. He's got a man. Ball tipped, though, at the line of scrimmage. Intended receiver R.J. Bradley. He was open, but the pass was tipped, so it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, the linebacker Lee, who got hurt earlier back in the game, came across the middle and just got a piece of that. I think you're right, Joe. I think Brantley was open, and he actually had some room over here if he catches the ball, and that could have picked up a 1st down.
1st down or more, as he's been an impressive runner in the early parts of this game whenever they can get him the ball. So 4th and 10 from the 42 forces Sacramento to punt. Again, it's Santos Garcia back deep to receive for the Spirit. Snap is good. Kick is blocked. Nice block that time by Will Lenzner. And it doesn't matter who recovers it. It'll still be Santa Cruz ball, and Lenzner celebrates as he runs to the sideline. Great punt block for the Spirit.
Yeah, that guy's having a great game. He's not only reading the plays, he's touching the ball, and that was, you know, they've been setting up the punt return for Garcia after that long return he did have, so there hasn't been much rush. And hey, Clark, you know, called it right there. He puts on the blitz or punt block, as you want to say, and it worked. And that was a great play by Lenzner. Once again, the guy came up with a big play.
And Gino, you've mentioned it a couple times. It almost appears as if he knows what's coming. You played linebacker. How much of it is just instinct?
Well, a lot of it is instincts, and you know, they're right. They say your eyes. You're constantly watching, and your first step is where the instinct comes from. You're always, you know, your first step's going to get you there faster than the other guy. So it looks like he definitely has a smell for the ball, and because his first step is right towards the ball on almost every play.
Bourgeon off that punt block bowls his way through the middle of the line. Ball was marked at the 42-yard line, and he's close to a first down. He's down around the 33 of Sacramento, and we'll see if the officials call it 1st and 10 or 2nd and short. They're going to call it 1st and 10. Ball at the 33, so a great 10-yard run by Bourgeon as he comes out of the game now.
Is that his first carry of the second half, Joel?
I believe so, yeah.
About 10 yards right there. They go to the ground attack. And what's funny to me is the officials walk up and he kind of gives a little eyeball across him. Yeah, that's a first down. I haven't seen a measurement yet here today, but, yeah, you know, whatever works for him.
From our perspective, that's great. Keeps the game moving. 4 receivers now for the Spirit. Beltran, the lone back. Offside somewhere. Appears as if they'll get a false start on the Spirit. Beltran was running right side, but before he could do anything, they got the penalty, so
I'm happy to see the Santa Cruz team going back to the run. You know, that's what set up all their big plays in the first half. Actually went against Sacramento, so.
And Gino, that's interesting. We talked about the refs just eyeing the first down sticks and giving them a first down. In this case, on an offside, you're supposed to let the play go, and because the offense has the advantage, you're not supposed to blow that play dead, from my understanding.
No, I think you're right. And as opposed to the first half when the offense went offsides and they actually let the play go. I also believe, and I'm pretty sure we're both right, is yeah, if the defense makes that mistake and jumps, the play goes, and you have the choice of taking either the play or the penalty. So,
right.
Interesting officials, but, you know, it's not pros, so I guess they'll take what they can get.
Well, either way, from the Spirit perspective, it's okay. 1st and 5, ball at the 28 of Sacramento. I formation now, and the deep back is Lasner. Lasner into the game, and again, he's thrown for a loss. Donovan Lasner's had a tough game at tailback for the Spirit.
That poor guy, I think he's got 3 carries for about -30. So his average is not going to be looking too good next week on the stat sheet. But there's a late penalty there, Joel. I'm not sure. Maybe a little extracurricular activity after the play. We'll see what the officials say this time.
Well, Sacramento had a multitude of defenders in there to throw Lasner down. Perhaps they get a late hit. But no, they're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct on Santa Cruz, so maybe they thought there was a late hit on Lasner and someone came in to defend him.
I'm thinking Lasner's a little ticked off that he hasn't gained a yard yet today and, you know, got up and tried to run again or something. I don't know, poor guy. Hopefully we'll see him bust out a long run and get back in the positive today.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Spirit. So that'll back them way back to the 48 now of Sacramento. And to get a first down, they've got to get to the 22, so 26 yards needed here. 2nd and 26.
Not much offense here in the second half, Joel. You're right. Both teams are going back and forth. No one's taking control from what we can see up here in the booth. So a couple good plays. They finally got Bourgeon the ball, 10 yards. Penalty sets them right back. So, you know, we'll see who wants to buckle down and have a little bit more consistency in their offense, because as far as I'm concerned, it's dominated by Santa Cruz, but game's not over yet.
4 receivers now for De La Paz, lone back Bourgeon on 2nd and a mile. Fake to Bourgeon. De La Paz, he's under pressure, steps up into the pocket, broke 1 tackle, but couldn't get away from Jason Benton. There he is again, number 56. He's just as quick as De La Paz, Gino, and he has not allowed him to get away at all.
No, he's been all over him today, and wearing 56, looking like Lawrence Taylor out there rushing the quarterback. De La Paz, he eluded the first gang of tacklers, but once again, he couldn't get away from big 56 out there. And what do we got, Joel? How many yards did he lose on that one? We got a long third down.
That was a loss of 6 on the play. The ball is now at the 46 of the Spirit. They need to get to the 23, so that's 27 and 4. It's 3rd and 31. Don't know how many plays Coach Clark has in his book for this situation, but we'll see. 4 receiver set. De La Paz in the shotgun. Bourgeon the lone back. De La Paz steps up again in the pocket. He's under pressure. Rolls out right side. Gets a pass off. He's got a man, Alejandrez. Ball knocked away, though, by number 21 for Sacramento. A nice play by Demetrius Robinson, so that'll force Santa Cruz to punt.
Yeah, it was a good play by the DB there. Yeah, actually had a man open right at the first down marker, so that could have been a big play for Santa Cruz. De La Paz did a nice job rolling out of the pocket there and getting some time for himself. But once again, looking at it from up here, no, I don't see any momentum on either side, and I actually see Sacramento starting to get a little bit more bounce in their steps. So if they get a little spark, and they're sending back their playmaker right now, Bradley. So if he busts one, it's a new ball game.
And we saw Garcia back to punt last time for the Spirit. This time it's Jose Romero. So not sure what's going on, but Romero's back there to punt now. Gets the punt off. It's not bad. It's actually quite good. He gets a good bounce as well, and the ball hits a Sacramento player, which means it's live. Santa Cruz has it. First down, Spirit off the turnover. Ball at the 25, recovered by number 44. Who else? Rich Bourgeon.
Yeah, there you go, right there. We've been calling his name all day, and he comes up again. That was a great play because in this wind, the ball hung up, and the Sacramento guys blocking didn't see where the ball landed, took a bounce, hit off his shin, and there's your momentum swing right there. So Santa Cruz takes advantage of this. They can finally put this game away.
R.J. Bradley was the deep man for Sacramento, but he never had a shot at it. Just as he was running up to get it off the second hop, it hit one of his teammates' legs as his teammate was trying to block for him, as you said, not knowing where the ball was. Unfortunate break for Sacramento, big break for the Spirit. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Sacramento 25. 4.5 to go. They lead 15-0. And we'll look to see if they go to a quick strike here. It's a fake. De La Paz, he's going for it, but the ball's deflected. His arm was hit as he threw. So incomplete pass there. He was looking out wide left to Jamil Vaughn, and Henry Torres were out there, but nice pressure by James Hawley for Sacramento.
Yeah, they sent Hawley on a backside blitz to De La Paz's blind side, so didn't see him coming around the corner. Just got a piece of his arm to knock the ball down. So nice play up Sacramento right there.
But in that case, Gino, I agree with the call. You get that big turnover, go for the jugular right there, throw the bomb in the end zone.
Yeah, why not? They're in great field position on the 25-yard line. Big play. They got the momentum. They went for it. Didn't happen, but they still got 3 more downs to get in the end zone. 2nd
and 10 now for the Spirit. It's Bourgeon behind De La Paz. 3 receivers as Robert Harrington, the tight end, lines up in the right slot. Gives to Bourgeon left side. He tries to get outside, and he does. Leaps over one defender, and he's finally brought down by number 56. Once again, that's Jason Benton, but a nice run. Nice deftness of foot there by the big guy, Bourgeon.
Boy, 6'1", 240, little hurdling out there. Guy's obviously an athlete, whether he played before or not. He turtled that guy, Joel. He jumped right over his back. It's a great play right there.
As you said, they ought to try and hit him low because he's a big guy, and perhaps he sensed that and felt him coming low and went high. Gain of 4 on the play for Bourgeon, so it'll be 3rd and 6, ball at the 21 of Sacramento. Beltran now into the game as Bourgeon gets a rest. 4 receivers set for the Spirit. Give us to Beltran up the middle. He's got room, breaks free, falls forward, fumbles. And they are going to signal Sacramento ball. So a nice run by Beltran, but unfortunately he coughed it up at the end as he tried to fall forward for a couple extra yards. And again, Santa Cruz unable to capitalize on great field position.
Yeah, nice call, nice run by Beltran. He actually, something you would probably review in the NFL because it looked like as he was going down, and he might have been, knees might have been on the ground, that last ditch effort he tried to give, someone popped the ball out, and hey, Sacramento got the ball. They thwarted that that drive, and they're still alive. 15-0. Still got a quarter and a half to go. Never out of it.
Number 5 on the recovery for Sacramento was Kenny Taylor. So a big break for Sacramento. The ball is at their own 10-yard line, so they do have a ways to go, and certainly a chance for the Spirit defense to pin them in here and perhaps even get a turnover and a score, because Sacramento's offense has struggled, and they're pinned deep now.
This is where the Santa Cruz team needs to maybe take a chance, maybe send a backer or something here, try to get a big play, either real close to the end zone or, intercept the ball or something.
Single back behind Ogun is their star, Dante Thomas. And they go quick pass. That's outside to Bradley. He's got room. Shakes one defender. Dragged down finally by Jamil Vaughn, but not before a nice gain for Sacramento. He looks like he got about 6 on the play. 2nd and 4.
Well, there they go. They used their athlete. They sent him out wide to the wide side of the field, one-on-one with the defensive back, Vaughn, who actually did a great job right there, one-on-one. Guy made a couple moves. He stuck with them, held on, waited for his teammates, and, did get 6 yards, but it could have been worse.
Jamil Vaughn, 5'11", 175 out of Harbor High School, has done that a couple times today. He's been really impressive. Bradley, as we said, the best athlete on Sacramento's squad, has delivered some vicious forearms, straight arms to him, but Vaughn has hung on for the ride and dragged him down, so he's certainly holding his own against the star, R.J. Bradley. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 now. Sacramento in the shotgun as they look to move. 2.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Ogun looks right side. It's Bradley again, and Vaughn steps in and almost picked it off. He would have had nothing between him but green grass and a touchdown. Nice read that time by Jamil Vaughn.
Yeah, Sacramento set up a quick out to Bradley. Once again, they're one of their better performers. Quarterback threw it inside instead of Azua's outside hand. Vaughn stepped in the onside, and if he catches it, there's no one in front of him. That's a touchdown right there. Great play again, once again by Vaughn, doing his job out there on the corner.
He's been impressive in both games that we've seen him play now. Defensively, he's a blanket. He's also very quick. He can run. He made a huge catch for them in their win over Hollister, and so Jamil Vaughn has been impressive. Sets up a 3rd and 4 now for Sacramento. Ball at their own 15. Inside handoff. That's a 1st down. Nice carry by Dante Thomas as he moved the pile forward. Finally brought down by Maurice Lee. But it's a 1st down for Sacramento.
Well, they went back to their bread and butter of the late in the first half when they ran Thomas a few times for some good gains. That was 3rd down and 4. Ran another trap off the left tackle, and he picked up the 1st down. It was a nice play by Sacramento. I think Santa Cruz might have expected maybe looking at a pass right there, but they turned it around and got the 1st down.
Gain of 7 on the play for Thomas. Ball marked at the 22, so Sacramento now with some breathing room. We're inside 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Santa Cruz with a 15-0 lead. Sacramento looking to get on the board here after a Santa Cruz turnover deep in Sacramento territory, which could have iced the game. Ogun under pressure, but he gets the pass off. Falls incomplete. Intended receiver on the left side was number 81 for Sacramento. There he is, James Alvarez. But the pass incomplete, so it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, they sent 55 Lee on the middle linebacker blitz, so he was all over the quarterback there and didn't have much vision to throw. There's actually 2 Grizzlies on the sidelines, and wasn't close to either of them, so nice play by Lee there, putting the pressure on the QB.
2nd and 10 now. Clock stopped on the incompletion. 1:40 to go, 3rd quarter. And really, Gino, that we talked a little bit about the weather, but it is a bit of a breeze that is behind Sacramento, so it would be tough to come back with a passing game in the 4th quarter going into the wind. So if you're Sacramento, you want to try and score here with the wind at your back. What's going on here? They're not going to call a flag. Ogun scrambles. He's the only one still playing. He's brought down on the sideline on a strange play. Dave Phillips, the defensive back, ran him down, but it looked like the Spirit defense jumped. Sacramento anticipated a penalty. None was called, and the play went on. Odd play.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where these rules are actually coming from. I saw Sacramento touch the offensive lineman, which I know that's a penalty as soon as you make contact, or encroachment or however you want to put it. And like you said, Joel, Sacramento jumps up thinking they're going to have to block and no flags. And there goes the quarterback around the end for, what do you get, no gain? 1 yard maybe? Interesting play.
Officials are still conferring here. They're going to have them stop the clock as they were trying to figure out what happened. And they finally are now going to call offsides on the Spirit.
Phantom flag.
Phantom flag. There are no yellow flags on the field, and neither myself nor Gino are colorblind, so we know this to be true, folks. There is no yellow on the field, and yet somehow there's a penalty now called 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I know I'm not colorblind. I'm blind, but I can see that big yellow thing on the field, and I did not see it, Joel. I don't know where it is or where it came from, but what's scary if you're a player is they let the play go all the way. I mean, you're just inviting somebody to get hurt in that kind of a position, so hopefully the officials will reconsider and actually throw the flag next time.
Well, we don't want to be critical of the officials because they're out here probably working for little to very little money. And, but the other thing that happened there, of course, was that while they were discussing it, no one told the scorekeeper to stop the clock. So now we're having to let the clock wind down back to about a minute left. I think it should be a minute 10, 1:25, I'm being told, because that's how long it took them to finally decide what the heck the call was. And, of course, by that time, 30 seconds had run off the clock.
Well, what's surprising, too, is not only did I not see a flag, but I didn't hear a whistle. And I know they got those in their mouth because I just heard it blown. So.
And you're not deaf, right?
Well, my wife says I am, but I just don't listen.
Ogun now gets a pass off to the tight end, who's smothered immediately. Nick Castillo with the catch. Brought down by a host of Spirit defenders for little to no gain. Ball marked at the 27 of Sacramento will bring up a 3rd and 6.
They went to that tight end play again. I think they're 3 for 3 with that. Not a lot of yardage, but it is a successful play. He didn't have a whole lot of time, so he got rid of it. And he actually did a good job. He's a pretty athletic quarterback back there. He's got some good instincts. He steps away from the pressure and actually can make a play. So it's always dangerous if you got somebody that can actually make a play.
Julian Ogum is the quarterback for Sacramento. He's tall. He's lean. He appears to be quick afoot, and he's got a strong arm as well. So Sacramento certainly has the makings for a comeback if they can just get someone open. Ogun now on 3rd and long, and again, finally there. Hey, I see yellow and I heard a whistle.
Wow, 2 for 2. Officials are on it. I like it. No, there was definitely contact there, and I'm not sure which way this is going to go. It looks like Santa Cruz initiated the contact, but we'll see what the officials' ruling is going to be here.
I think that it should be on the Spirit for encroachment, but again, we're no experts as the defense dances on the field of the Spirit. A loose group here, number 2, David Adams, and number 8, Damon Hansen. They seem to like this song that's being played by the DJ here, and why not dance while you're waiting for these guys to figure out the call? And they are going to call it false start on Sacramento, so that'll be 3rd and 10 now, ball at the 23.
Gotta wonder if we're at a football game here, the way this DJ's throwing some good music out here, get the crowd going a little bit, and the players are actually dancing. It's a really fun atmosphere out here today, Joel. I'm glad I could be a part of it.
And it's definitely as you said, a fun atmosphere, and it is another respectable crowd here. Their home opener a few weeks ago against Hollister brought out a big crowd with Reggie Stevens doing the inaugural coin flip, and another good crowd here today. Before the Sacramento team can snap a play there, the clock winds down on the 3rd quarter. So that's it. After 3 quarters of play, it's Santa Cruz 15, Sacramento nothing. We'll be back for the 4th quarter on community television in just a moment. Back at San Lorenzo Valley High School, the home field for the Santa Cruz Spirit of the Amateur Adult Football League. The Spirit, the home team here, leading the Sacramento Grizzlies by a score of 15-0 as we get ready for the start of the 4th quarter. Joel Domhoff alongside Gino Panelli. Glad you could join us on community television. Reset the situation for you now. It's 3rd and 10 for Sacramento. Ball at their own 22-yard line, and they trail 15-0. I formation behind quarterback Julian Ogun. Hogan back to pass. He's got time for a change, but now, no, Hansen, he escapes Hansen. Sprints for the corner, looks for a block. Can't get one. Number 1, Richard Torres, came up and forced Hogan out of bounds after a short gain. So good defensive coverage downfield by the Spirit defensive backs, Gino, because Hogan had time to throw it, but he didn't have anyone open.
Yeah, they closed well, Joel. They came up strong from there, covering their men and forced Hogan out of bounds. Hansen, once again, one-on-one with the running back. No contest, Once again, right in the quarterback's face. He caused that scramble. He caused that play. So another great play by the defense.
3-yard gain for Hogan. He needed 10, which means it's time for another punt for Sacramento. And back deep for Santa Cruz, it's Santos Garcia. He returned one earlier, 93 yards. And they should have great field position here as Sacramento punts from deep in its own territory. Punt is up in the air. Garcia's got a chance at it. If he stays in bounds, he does. He's cross midfield, shakes one defender, gets a couple blocks, tiptoes up the sidelines before stepping out of bounds at the 38 of Sacramento. 14-yard return that time for Santos Garcia.
Another good return for Garcia up the sidelines, little stutter step, eluded a tackler. Too bad he stepped out of bounds. He had about 5 more yards, I think, before they were closed in. But there you go. Santa Cruz, 35, 40-yard line. Hasn't punched in the second half. Let's see if they can put some points on the board in the second half.
Looking to ice this game as they lead 15-0. An enthusiastic DJ here trying to get the crowd going, and some of the crowd is dancing a little bit. But all right, 1st and 10 at the Sacramento 38-yard line. And a timeout called by Sacramento as they've got confusion on the defensive side of the ball. They only had 10 players in there, so smart timeout there, Gino. They've had a hard enough time playing 11 on 11. 11 on 10 would have been even more tough.
Yeah, I see a little wariness out there on the Grizzlies side of the ball. It looks like they're starting to get tired, starting to wear down. And timeout's probably good for them. Get a little breather, regroup, get enough guys on the field. That'd be nice. So we'll see. I'd love to see Santa Cruz score right here. I'd like to see him go back to, is it Harrington, the tight end? Yeah, they used him a couple times. And it's been pretty open over the middle. He seemed to be open all day, and maybe they could start something up with them and then run the big guy, Bourgeon, up a couple times, get down there and punch it in.
Harrington, a big target for De La Paz at 6'4", 250. So we'll see if they've got an earpiece on this side of the ball as the Coach Jim Clark, see if he heeds Gino's recommendations. All right, out of the timeout, it's De La Paz. He's got Anastasio Beltran behind him. 4 receivers set for the Spirit, 3 on the right side. Give is to Beltran up the middle. He had a bit of a hole there, and he fell forward for about 5 yards before being brought down. So a good gain on 1st down for the Spirit, tackled by James Hawley.
Yeah, nice play there, running the ball, killing some clock. Hawley was pretty fortunate there because he tried to tackle him around the neck, and luckily he had a backup guy to help him tackle, or else I think Beltran could have got some more yards there.
Beltran out, Bourgeon in on 2nd, and we'll call it 7, so a 3-yard gain that time for Beltran. Clock runs as we approach 14 minutes to go in the game. Again, a 4-receiver set for De La Paz. Alejandras and Harrington right, Torres and Gagiri left. Give to Bourgeon right side. He's met and hit hard. Nice tackle and who else would know how to tackle someone low than fellow Bull running back Dante Thomas, who made the tackle that time for Sacramento.
Yeah, 44 against 44. That was a textbook tackle. He got him right around the thighs, which are huge. But, Thomas is not a small guy, and he kept his legs driving like a good running back should and waited for some help, and no gain. Actually a loss, I believe, right, Joel?
Yeah, he lost 3 on the play, Gino, so great tackle that time by Thomas. Back to the original line of scrimmage at the 38, 3rd and 10 for the Grizzlies. So Bourgeon, for one of the few times thrown for a negative loss there of 3. Again, it's 4 receivers. De La Paz in the shotgun. Bourgeon back there with him. Torres in motion. De La Paz looks to pass. He's got a man right side. He's going for the big guy, Harrington. But the closest man was R.J. Bradley, who was not going to be beaten on that play by Harrington, Gino.
No, but, you know, Harrington has the definite size advantage right there. If De La Paz throws it to the inside, I think he has a chance to go up and jump ball him for it, because it looks like he's got quite a bit of height on him. But Bradley, once again, in the right spot, right time, right position. So he's having a good game on the other side of the ball.
4th and 10 at the 38. And it appears as if they will be punting here. So Sacramento's defense did their job. They held Santa Cruz there. Forced a punt now with 12:50 to go, and Bradley back there to return the punt. They're still in this game if they can just get one big play. This time it's Garcia back to punt, so we're rotating punters here, and he's going to throw it, a fake punt. Garcia looks, he's got a man, it's Bourgeon, he caught it! Falls forward, first down for the Grizzlies at the 24 of Sacramento. Santos Garcia has proven to be versatile for the Spirit here. Great throw and a great catch by Bourgeon. Another well-designed trick play by Coach Jim Clark.
Razzle-dazzle, it worked. He had plenty of time. Two of the bigger linemen were trying to chase Garcia, which wasn't a good contest there. I don't think they were going to get him. And he took his time and found the big guy, Bourgeon, for first down. Now they're inside the 25, ready to punch it in.
Well, we certainly don't have to worry now about Ricardo De La Paz getting hurt for the Spirit, because if he does, they've got a more than capable backup in Santos Garcia, equally quick, and he's proved there to have a good arm. So
threw a nice ball.
Yeah, he did throw a nice ball, and that gives Jim Clark options, and it gives him some depth, which is obviously hard to come by in this league at this level. A lot of guys playing two ways, so big acquisition there to get Santos Garcia to come out and play. 1st and 10 now for the Spirit. They've got the ball at the Sacramento 24-yard line. See if they can put in a clinching score. Right side, it's Alejandrez, Beltran behind De La Paz. Torres and Harrington split left. De La Paz looks right. He's got room. He scrambles now. He rolls out. He's pointing. Oh, but he takes a sack. A painful one, again, at the hands of number 56, Jason Benton, who's been all over the field for the Grizzly defense.
Well, he was flying up the field right there, because De La Paz is not slow. He came around that corner, and all I saw was 56 green blur all over him. He took him down with one hand, so great play by, what's his name, Joel? 56?
Jason Benton.
Benton, boy, he's a player.
And perhaps, Gino, a little, I don't know, lack of judgment there on De La Paz. If you're going to take that sack, perhaps throw it away. Instead, he takes a huge loss. Ball back at the 34. So a 9-yard loss that time.
Yeah, either get rid of it or run out of bounds. He was definitely close enough to the sidelines. He could have got out of bounds or at least thrown it that way. So good point, Joel.
4 receiver set now. Lone man in the backfield is the quarterback, De La Paz in the shotgun. Good snap. He's got pressure, setting up a screen, but it's not open. De La Paz points. He's got a man. Alejandrez, we've got a flag away from the ball, as he also had Harrington over there. But we'll check the flag, as De La Paz showed some nice scrambling ability after they took away the screen.
Yeah, actually, number 20, Henry Torres, wide open on the other side of the field. But, you know, can't have eyes all over the place, so we didn't see him. But we'll see what this penalty shows and see if Santa Cruz can get back into the flow with their offense.
Illegal man downfield, which is a common penalty when you're scrambling like that. The linemen think there's going to be a screen, and when it's not completed, they're left out there in no man's land, and they're not allowed to be that far down the field. So another penalty on the Spirit backs them up to the 39, and they've got to get to the 23, so it'll be, or excuse me, they've got to get to the 14. So again, it's second and a bunch, 25.
Yeah, let's see what kind of razzle-dazzle Coach Clark's got for this one.
11:34 to go here in the game. Santa Cruz ball, second and long. Again, De La Paz, the lone back in a shotgun set. 5 receivers for Santa Cruz. De La Paz, he's got a big rush coming. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. Intended receiver Harrington, providing pressure up the middle again, was Jason Benton. Incomplete pass, 3rd and long.
That guy wreaks havoc all over the field. He was in there in a flash again. No one, you know, I'm thinking if you're Santa Cruz, you got to have somebody keeping an eye on that guy because he's been their definite main target of attack on defense, and he was right in De La Paz's face again to you know, make that play not happen.
Well, you compared Jason Benton earlier to Lawrence Taylor. He shares the same number as the Hall of Fame linebacker, and he has a similar style. He's just a relentless bull rusher. He's just a ball hawk. Wherever the ball is, he seems to be. And as we've said, the quickness of De La Paz has been matched or even surpassed by Benton, and he's a big guy. 3rd and long now for the Spirit. Again, it's a 4-receiver set. Beltran, the lone back. De La Paz is going to call a timeout as he doesn't like what he sees. It's called a 20-second timeout. Apparently they have those in this at this level, Gino. So 3rd and long, 11 and a half to go. And unfortunately for the fans here, we saw a great first half, but the second half has kind of been dragged down by penalties and sloppy play.
Yeah, the offensive haven't really gotten going. There's flashes of nice plays, and you know, a little bit of momentum will go one way and then the other. But like you said, Joel, penalties are knocking them back down. Bad decisions on the quarterbacks, taking big losses both ways. Some interesting calls by the officials have, you know, contributed to some of the plays. But you know, like I said earlier, they're getting tired. It's their third game now, I believe. So they're really just starting to iron out some of the bugs and starting to get in actual game shape. It's quite a bit different from practicing every week and then actually coming out and getting hit time after time after time again. So it'll take its toll in a 60-minute game, right? 15-minute quarter. So it's a long time to be out on the field, especially when these guys are going both ways.
3rd and 25, ball at the 39 of Sacramento. De La Paz out of the shotgun with 4 receivers. He's going to punt it. 3rd down punt. He gets off a beauty. Ball bounces and into the end zone. Tough break. Pretty good punt there by Ricardo De La Paz, and a nice play call by Coach Clark. Pin him deep.
Yeah, that was interesting. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Little pooch kick. He almost got it. Just rolled into the end zone. But, you know, 20 yards. They got 80 yards to go with 11 minutes. It can be done. I haven't seen it done today, but, you know, they're still in the game. Santa Cruz has not locked the door yet. So, you know, we'll see what this next 11 minutes has to bring us, Joel. See what Sacramento can come up with. Maybe they need some trick plays.
They need something because what they've done thus far has netted them a big goose egg on the board. So they've got an athletic quarterback back there in Julian Ogan, and they've got some good running backs, including Dante Thomas, but haven't been able to spring them free against a tough Spirit defense. So it'll be 1st and 10 as the punt went into the end zone at the 20-yard line. Split backs behind Ogan, 2 receiver set. Spirit with a 4-man front. Ogan, quick pass outside to Bradley, one-on-one, shakes once and twice, forced out of bounds by Jamil Vaughn. We've got a penalty on the play, so we'll check that.
Yeah, someone might have moved early. The outside official threw that flag right away. So let's see what the call is.
You're right, Gino. Someone did move early for Sacramento. That's a false start. That'll back them up 5 yards. So again, we've seen it time and time again. Ready to start off, you've got the ball, fresh possession, and you immediately back yourself into a hole with a penalty.
Yeah, how about Vaughn again? Brantley gets the ball on that flanker screen they keep throwing out there and goes for that stiff arm. But Vaughn's been right there all day. He hasn't let him get by him. He's doing a heck of a job on that guy.
So now it's 1st and 15 for Sacramento at their own 15, so not the time or place to be backing up as they're down 15 and they're deep inside their own territory. They immediately put Ogan now in the shotgun.
This could be Hansen here time, Joel. If he gets loose and throws him back for a big loss, they're in big trouble.
Ogan looks to pass right side, and intended was Bradley, but he was nowhere near the ball. Closest player that time was, guess who, Jamil Vaughn.
Actually, if he looks up, he's got a touchdown. He dove to try to deflect the ball, and I think he was looking at the receiver at the same time. If he stays on his feet, I think he goes right into his hands and he walks into the end zone. But once again, like you said, he's right there. Another great job by Vaughn on the outside.
Incompletion stops the clock. 11:13 to go now in the game. Fast-moving first half has been followed up by a very slow-moving second half. We'll see if things get going here as we wind down. 2nd and 15 for Sacramento. Split backs behind Ogun, Dante Thomas, and Deontay McCullough. Ogun looks to pass. He's got time. He's looking down the middle of the field. No one there. Intended receiver number 21.
I think that's Robinson.
Don't have it. There he is, Demetrius Robinson. But again, he wasn't really, he was the intended receiver, Gino, but the pass nowhere near him.
Yeah, he was behind his guy, but there was 3 guys in front of him, and the ball was even, 5 yards in front of them. So not a great throw that time by Ogden, but they're going to have to keep passing, and they got to get back in the game, Joel. So I don't see him running the ball. They haven't done it all day. They really haven't done anything too much all day, but they got to keep passing the ball. So it's going to be a long last 10 minutes here with a lot of clock stops. I'd look for an interception here. You watch.
Okay,
I'm going to call it right now for you.
We've got our first prediction of the game, and it's an interception here by Mr. Panelli. 3rd and 15. Low snap. Ogun picks it up, though, and rolls out. He's got room. He's got one man to beat Lenzner. Forced out of bounds by Richard Torres. Big collision that time. And he's not quite near the first down marker, but he did pick up some good yardage. We'll see what they decide to do on 4th down. It looks like they're going to punt. So Ogun had some room, but Torres closed out nicely.
Okay, I predicted it wrong, but that wasn't my fault. Actually, the quarterback dropped the ball, so he saw some room to the outside and took advantage of it. Nice little play by Richard Torres. Came up, and he's not a real big guy, 5'8", 170. Actually, the quarterback put a pretty good lick at him, but he knocked him out of bounds, and he didn't get the first down, so he did his job.
And we've talked throughout about the defensive line for the Spirit, but we should also credit their defensive backfield. Richard Torres, David Adams, Jamil Vaughn, Kelvin Nivens. They have really shut down the receivers for Sacramento and haven't given their quarterback, Julian Ogun, a lot of chances really to find anyone. So just a great overall effort by the defense of Santa Cruz.
Looks like Joel got Benton, the big linebacker, to block for the punter.
And again, it's Garcia back deep for the Spirit. Punt off the side of the foot, and everyone's screaming to get out of the way as the ball bounces backwards. So a good break for Santa Cruz. Ball down at the 37 of Sacramento as the punt didn't go very far. 22-yard punt. So Santa Cruz with excellent field position, 10:53 to go.
I think Santa Cruz will have to run the ball a little bit right now, kill this clock, keep it moving, get their guys off safe and sound, no injuries, and put this game away. It's about that time, Joel, to run the big guy, 44 Bourgeon, and number 30 Beltran. He's been running the ball real good today too. So we'll see if they stick to that plan, or who knows, the way Clark's going, they might throw a flea flicker, Statue of Liberty, bootleg, who knows? Guys, I can't call it.
Gino, actually what we've got going on here is there was an offsides on the punt against Santa Cruz, so 4th and 6 becomes 4th and 1 for Sacramento, so they're going to go for it now on 4th and 1, and amidst all that confusion, they called timeout to set up a play. So what appeared to be a bad punt, a 22-yarder, into a now gusty wind, and Santa Cruz ball with great field position becomes a play now where Sacramento could get right into it again with a first down here. The ball is marked now at the 29, and they need to get to the 30. So if they've got to play for a yard, this is the time to bring it out and try and sustain a drive.
Well, they got nothing to lose, Joel. I mean, they're down 15 points, and the way Santa Cruz's offense has been running, they've been showing signs of positive yardage, but they definitely haven't shown anything like they're going to put it up in a hurry, put a score up in a hurry. So if you're the Sacramento coaching staff, 4th and 1, they got the big guy, 44 Thomas. He might be able to punch it through. Or you get Ogum, get a little time, maybe sees an opening for a pass, or takes the ball and runs upfield for a yard. So they do have some options. They have some athletes, and they got nothing to lose at this point.
And, Gino, the way this wind is suddenly picked up into huge gusts, it may be their only option. I don't think a punt would go anywhere in this stuff. So Sacramento goes for it. Give is to number 44, that's their star, Dante Thomas, and he's got enough for the first down. Gang tackled by the Spirit, but too little, too late. So first down gain for Sacramento. They'll have a fresh set of downs. Clock winds. It should be winding. 10:45 to go, fourth quarter.
Does that start the clock? Oh. Well, there it was, Joel. 44 Thomas. He's been their bread and butter in the backfield. Did the job right there. Spirit tried to jar the ball loose from him, and in the process, I think he picked up 3 or 4 more yards. So nice job by Thomas there, getting some extra yardage.
Gain of 5 on the play for Thomas. First and 10, ball marked at the 34 of Sacramento. First and 10, I formation. Thomas is deep. 5 down linemen for the Spirit defense. Fake to Thomas. Ogun keeps it on a sweep down the right sideline, left sideline, I should say. He picks up a good gain for Sacramento. Finally steps out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it. It'll be the 46. So a 11-yard gain that time for Ogun and another first down for Sacramento.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that earlier. He looks like he can run the ball and he's got some abilities, so I'm surprised we haven't seen him either on some kind of an option or bootleg just as that. I mean, 11 yards was a nice run by him and stopped the clock in the meantime. So nice play there by Sacramento.
10:09 to go in this game. Santa Cruz with a 15-0 lead. A lead they've enjoyed since the second quarter. A scoreless second half here as both offenses have struggled. But Sacramento now has picked up 2 first downs, and they're looking to drive and get something going. They've got the ball at their own 46. First and 10. Ogun in the I formation again has Dante Thomas deep and Deontay McCullough in the fullback position. Man in motion is their star, Bradley. They give us to Bradley on a sweep. Eludes one tackler, but can't elude a second. That is Will Lenzner spinning him around. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Finally threw him to the ground. So again, Lenzner sniffing out the play, Gino.
That's my man right there. He's been on the ball all day. They sent Bradley from his wide receiver position, sent him in motion, and I have a feeling Lenzner picked him up early in the backfield and just kind of flew to the ball. Another great play by Lenzner, stopping that for no gain.
Actually a 2-yard loss, 2nd and 12 now, and Sacramento quickly to the line of scrimmage. They go out wide to Bradley, but way overthrown that time. I think Wilt Chamberlain, perhaps the only guy that could have caught that pass, as it was well over the head of Bradley. So that'll stop the clock. It'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for Sacramento. 9.5 to go. Do you want to predict an interception here, Gino, or are you going to hold on to your 0 for 1 today?
I'll stay where I'm at, Joel, thanks. 0 for 1's not too bad.
2 receiver set for Sacramento. Split backs. Ogun in the shotgun on 3rd and 12. They need to get to the Santa Cruz 44. Snap is good. Ogun looks right. Quick pass. Incomplete. Thrown at the ankles of tight end Nick Castillo. I'm not sure about the play call there, Gino. Even if it was complete, it was a 2-yard pattern.
Yeah, they need 13 yards, and they're throwing 2 yards. They didn't even throw to the original line of scrimmage, and they're throwing to their tight end, who has demonstrated he could catch the ball today, but definitely has not a lot of running capabilities. So that's a strange call. You're right, Joel. They should have definitely tried to go downfield with that. Time's running out, and they need to put up 2 scores in a hurry.
Well, this should be interesting, folks. The wind has really picked up here at San Lorenzo Valley Field, to the point where papers are blowing below us. You can clearly see Vance's hair being blown to the side. So right in the face of the punter here, we'll see what they do. Got a low kick off. It goes sideways. Certainly
That's
not
a souvenir right there.
No.
Referee got it. There's a flag,
That
Joel. I'm not sure what the call is.
That ball came closer to us than it did to the field of play that time. The man back deep to receive is number 18, Richard Atkinson, this time for the Spirit, but I think we were closer to that ball than Richard was. And as you said, we've got a penalty. We'll see what it is, and it appears to be on Sacramento. Yeah, they've got a hold on Sacramento, and of course after a punt that atrocious, they're just going to decline it, see where they mark it here.
That was about a 15, 16-yard punt, straight left.
Yeah.
Hit the track and bounced up into the stands, so.
Almost a souvenir, as you said. Ball marked at the 43. So, again, great field position for Santa Cruz. 9:24 to go. They've got a 15-0 lead. And you got to think that maybe this will be the time that they finally ice this game. They've been knocking on the door. They've had many opportunities to put them away. Haven't done it.
Well, they got the big guy in the backfield, so I can't see them throwing, Joel. I don't know why they would. They don't need to score any more points at this point. They just need to run out the clock.
Give is to Bourgeon up the middle. Falls forward, breaks one tackle, breaks a second. He ran over number 56, Jason Benton, which is a rare occurrence.
Yeah, that's a first.
And in the process, Bourgeon picks up 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2, and the clock finally starts to run. I know, I'm sure the players want this game to end, but so do you. You've got a wife and kids at home. You can't be here all day.
Well, this is my outing for the weekend, so I'm having a good time. I got no problems.
Your 2 hours of freedom.
My 2 hours of freedom. Yeah, that's it right there. No such things as weekends anymore, Joel.
Ball in Sacramento territory at the 49. 2nd and 3, we'll call it. Beltran now in the backfield, the lone running back behind De La Paz. 8.5 to go here from San Lorenzo Valley Field. Fake to Beltran. De La Paz keeps it, falls forward, gets the first down, past the 45 to the 44. So about a 5-yard gain there on 2nd and 3. Keeps the clock running. First down, Santa Cruz.
They're running it, but do you run your quarterback, Joel? Do you run your 5'8", 170 only quarterback on your team right there? I'm surprised they're not just pounding it with their 2 backs that have been successful all day. But once again, I can't predict anything Coach Clark's doing, so I'm not even going to try at this point. He might pass with 2 seconds left in the game. God only knows.
You're right, Gino. Has been some strange calls, but they've got the lead, and now they've got Bourgeon and again in the backfield. 4 receiver set on 1st and 10. Inside 8 minutes to go now with the clock winding. Quick pass there outside. That's Alejandro as he's got a blocker in front of him. Good gain out of bounds to the 43, or actually 38-yard line. So a good play on first down for Santa Cruz.
Or was it? They pass and stop the clock. I'm not sure those are 2 things that Santa Cruz wants to do right now, but I don't know. It's been pretty amazing. Pass play on first down, the guy gets out of bounds and stops the clock when I think Santa Cruz wants to run out this clock and go home. But they're entertaining, that's all I can say. You can't predict it, and so that actually makes it kind of fun.
But certainly, as we look ahead, if they face a team that's tougher and they're in a closer contest, these are the types of mistakes that could come back to haunt them. If they do have a lead against someone late and they don't show the ability to run out the clock, they could give it up. So we'll see. 2nd and 4 off the 6-yard completion. Low snap now. De La Paz in the shotgun. Runs up. He's got a man. Torres out open on the left side inside the 30. Drilled out of bounds at the 28. Again, it stops the clock, but another first down. Hard hit that time by Demetrius Robinson, but Torres took the punishment and got the first down.
Yeah, nice play. Definitely a nice play. Good play by De La Paz to pick up the ball off the ground, number 1, and then scramble out and get it to his receiver. But once again, they're throwing it, and they are killing the clock every time they go out of bounds. So positive, negative, I don't know. I guess maybe they're working on their passing game. Who knows? I have no idea what Clark's got in his mind, but they're getting the job done right now, so I'll stop complaining.
Well, he's got the wind at his back, so perhaps he does want to build some confidence in his
Maybe
passer.
there's a scoring thing where it comes down to the end of the season. Whoever has more points, if you're tied for a playoff spot,
That
possibly
could be.
the point is the tiebreaker. I'm not sure, but could be something that they might be aware of.
Well, this is clearly a pass because there's no running backs. And the pass is tipped and oh, what a catch!
That's a great play. That is a great play.
Juggling catch by Henry Torres after the ball was tipped by a Sacramento defender. He tipped it once, tipped it twice, and then brought it in before falling out of bounds. Spectacular play by Torres.
That was great concentration by Torres. Sacramento, that was an interception for possibly a touchdown. I didn't see too many people out in front of him. I think his eyes got too big, tipped up, and Torres just batted it to himself for about 5 yards, caught it and rolled out of bounds. Well, that was a great play. Nice concentration on Torres' part right there.
And Gino, we have, this is entertaining, and we've talked about it. We don't want to beat a dead horse, but again, that was a risky play. And if that ball was in fact intercepted, it's now 15-7 with 7.5 minutes to go. Santa Cruz made these mistakes in their first game against Hollister when they had a lead and then gave it up late. So, not sure if this is the best way to close out a game for Coach Clark. Fake to Bourgeon this time. De La Paz rolls out. He's drilled by number 9. James Hawley that time, throwing De La Paz around like a rag doll. Pass incomplete. Again, it stops the clock, and it puts De La Paz's health in danger.
Yeah, I also see a flag out there, so they might think they have it wrapped up. I see the big defensive lineman there, Damon Hansen, has his shoulder pads off. I'm not sure if he's injured or just taking the rest of the day off, so they must feel that they're pretty confident and let their offense play. But like you said, Joel, that pass goes for an interception with 7 minutes to go. It's definitely not over yet. And there's a holding penalty on the offense, so now it's pushing them back. So a lot of strange calls and a lot of strange things, so we'll see what happens here.
Ball put down at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20 now for Santa Cruz. 7:16 to go. So De La Paz taking the punishment really for no reason because there was a penalty to begin with on holding. So we'll see what they do now here on 1st and 20. 4 receiver set. Bourgeon is in the backfield, but De La Paz in the shotgun. Hard count by De La Paz. It's a keeper left side. He's got 2 men in front of him. He looks to throw it away. No one's there. And again, he's drilled out of bounds. Number 44, it's Dante Thomas, who started to show himself here, along with the star, Jason Benton. So again, risky play, although smart play that time by De La Paz to at least stay in bounds.
Yeah, that was one good thing on the play, Joel, that he did stay in bounds. He was smart enough to go down before he got out of bounds. But, hey, once again, 4 wide receivers running the ball, passing the ball on first, was that 1st and 20 on that play?
Yes.
So,
well, Gino, we don't want to make light of an injury situation, but for the 4th time today, we've seen number 77, Eden Renero, hobble over to the bench on one leg, jumping around, and you got to, it's like, when do you put a dead horse out to pasture? Take the guy. You got Hansen sitting there with no shoulder pads on. He's healthy. Why don't you leave Hansen in and give Renero the day off? De La Paz, deep pass is intercepted.
There it is right there.
We talked about it, Gino. Number 4, John Oliver for Sacramento there for the interception. So questionable play calling by Coach Jim Clark, and it finally does backfire on Santa Cruz. 6 minutes to go. Sacramento still alive.
Yeah, De La Paz actually had a receiver open right there. Torres was busting across the middle on a slant, but he threw it behind him right into the hands of the defensive back. So there's your turnover. Hasn't been too many turnovers today, but there's one there. Not at a great time. Santa Cruz, I believe, started off this drive in excellent field position, and now they're giving it up. So they really, they only cut 2 or 3 minutes off the clock in that entire drive. So they really didn't accomplish a whole lot right there.
Only good thing on that play for Santa Cruz is Oliver fell as he caught it. So he took a knee there, and so he had to be blown dead. So the ball marked at the 12-yard line of Sacramento. They've got 88 yards to go. Give is to the fullback, Thomas. He goes nowhere, but he makes them earn that tackle that time. In fact, he didn't even go down.
Well, there's the irony of this whole thing. Santa Cruz throws, Sacramento runs, and they're the ones 15 points behind. So I cannot figure this out, but I'm having a good time watching it.
And as we said, Damon Hansen, one of the studs on the defensive line for the Spirit, is over here in a lifeguard hat without
Hawaiian gear on already. He's ready for summer.
And no shoulder pads, so he's clearly out of the game, whether he's got a bit of an injury or just not wanting to risk further injury. Either way, he's out of there. So they've got the tight end, Robert Harrington, in there on the defensive line in his place. So we'll see if that backfires on them, having to pull Hansen early.
I think Hansen could play with no pads. I think his shoulders are bigger than half the guys out there. That guy's a big boy.
I formation for Sacramento, 2nd and 7. give is to a new running back in there, number 4, and he breaks left side. Nice move that time. Nifty running by John Oliver. He's the man that made the interception, and he gets a first down for Sacramento, and he stops the clock. 5:02 to go. Ball marked at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, that was a nice play. A little trap again to the outside. Oliver, like you said, the man that made the interception, takes it, gets the first down, it gets out of bounds, stops the clock, keeps the drives alive. Still time, Joel. There's still time.
See if R.J. Bradley can get open deep for Sacramento. He's proven to be their best player, but Jamil Vaughn has been blanketing him throughout. But perhaps they can throw a hitch and go or something, pump fake Vaughn, get him to bite on something and get a big play, because little 5- and 10-yard gains are not going to do it for Sacramento at this point. I formation. Quick out to Bradley. He's outside. He's got Vaughn to beat. Vaughn dragging him down. No, he breaks the tackle, falls forward. Great play that time by R.J. Bradley. Picks up about 8 yards on the play. Past the 35-yard line, about the 38 we'll call it. Second and short, 4:50 to go.
Yeah, Bradley actually finally got a step on Vaughn out there. Quarterback put the ball in a good spot so where he could catch it on the run. Got a step, but Vaughn still kept a hand on him, so slowed him down. I'm surprised I haven't seen Thomas, their good running back, in some kind of a screen play. They haven't really let him get the ball out in the open, and he looks like he's got some pretty good skills in the open field. They should try to get him the ball one-on-one with somebody.
Gain of 6 for Bradley. It's 2nd and 4. Ball at the 35. Hogan back to pass, looks over the middle, overthrows his intended receiver. That was the tight end, Nick Castillo. He was open. Coverage that time by Ray Gibson. Incomplete pass, stops the clock. 4:47 to go. 3rd and short.
Not a bad play from the Grizzlies. They actually sent the tight end down the field this time. He was a good 8 or 10 yards down the field. So, in fact, if he does catch it, it's a possible first down, and they are picking up some yardage. But it was incomplete, so they stopped the clock.
And Gino, break for Sacramento. They've got roughing the passer. So
wow.
Ogun that time, after delivering the throw, was hit late. So a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Ball in Santa Cruz territory now at the 49. So Sacramento has a chance if they can just get that one big play. They've got Hansen out of the game. They just got a big penalty there, so anything can happen.
Yeah, they're in striking distance. They get one of those speedy backs out in the flat. They can't make the tackle. It's a score for Sacramento. So always have that onside kick game too.
And a new set of running backs behind Ogun. It's the man that made the interception, John Oliver. He's injected some life into this offense. Ogun goes right side. He was trying to go to his tight end again, Nick Castillo. But again, Ray Gibson was all over it. It almost looked like Gibson was the intended receiver there.
Yeah, actually, I believe the lineman Lamar Brooks came in, and when Ogden threw, he hit his helmet with his hand, so it kind of shortened his throw and bounced on the ground. It looks like he was shaking his hand out a little bit, so we'll see what this next pass looks like from Sacramento.
Clock stops on the incompletion, 4:40 to go. 2nd and 10, Sacramento down 15-0. And they've got a new quarterback in there as Julian Ogun goes to the bench. It's number 16. We saw him early, Sal DePaulo. So they're going to switch it up here. See, maybe they go downfield to Bradley. Perhaps DePaulo has a stronger arm. Who knows?
I think he hurt his hand, so they took him out of the game.
I formation behind DePaulo. And a big run up the middle that time by number 44, Dante Thomas. Good gain on the play. He got about 6. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 4, but the clock runs 4:25 to go.
Surprised they're not calling any timeouts yet. I'm not sure how many they have, but it was a nice play. Quick hit up the middle. Thomas runs hard. He gets off the ball real fast. And if he gets through the line, he's been picking up 5-6 extra yards every time he gets through that line of scrimmage.
Number 72 for Santa Cruz, Blake Riggs, jogs off the field. We haven't seen him much today, but with Hansen leaving the game early, some other guys getting a chance to play, and Riggs is one of them. Long time being taken here by Sacramento as the clock is now inside 4 minutes. That play stopped at 4.5. So they basically have let 35 seconds go off here before snapping another play. 3rd and 4, poor clock management.
Yeah, they're taking an awful long time here, Joel. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry, Gino. DePaulo now changing the play, which takes another 10 seconds. Finally the give, and a penalty flag is thrown down. That time the runner on the play was James Hawley. But we'll check the penalty. He got about 5 yards on the play.
Almost looks like Sacramento is conceding this game, throwing in some new players in the backfield, a new quarterback. I don't know, maybe they have given up already and they're just looking at some talent for the following game. But that's too bad because they actually had a chance midfield with 7 minutes to go. Would have been nice to see them put up a little rally and make this a ball game.
Yeah, they had it with 7 to go, and now all of a sudden, and here's another flag being thrown.
I think we got a little taunting going on there now, Joe. I think the trash talking has begun or is continuing and just getting a little bit hotter. But that flag, I think they're kicking him out.
They are. Number 64 throwing his helmet in disgust for Sacramento. That's Mike Ward, one of the biggest guys on the field. He's got to be over 300 pounds. I don't know if you want to make him upset, but he threw his helmet in disgust. He's been ejected from the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct there, so not the way Sacramento wants to end this game. They've stayed close. They had a chance here with 7 minutes to go after an interception, but they've gone backwards since with some penalties, poor clock management, and now it's gotten ugly. They're going to go back another 15 yards after a holding penalty on the previous play made it 3rd and 15. Now it'll be 3rd and 30.
Yeah, that's too bad, at this point in the game. There are a lot of kids here, and, fortunately they can't hear what they're saying. That'd be a whole different penalty, but he threw his helmet and he ran out the field, so that's too bad. This is supposed to be a for fun league, and
wow,
I know they're taking it serious and all, but
Gino, I think what I'm thinking, they backed it up 10 yards to the 45-yard line for the holding penalty. It was going to be 3rd and 15 from the 45. I think they've called 2 penalties here and backed them up. Geez, what is that? 30 yards.
Yeah, they must. Maybe there was back-to-back unsportsmanlike conduct. I didn't see the holding penalty. Obviously, you did. I'm not sure, but they went from the 50 to the 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, the ball is now at the 15. It was at the 45, so a 30-yard double or unsportsmanlike penalties there on Sacramento. So you got to be a mathematician to figure out how far they got to go now. The ball's at the 15. That's you, isn't it,
Joel? You're a mathematician, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm about to become one here. It is 3rd down, folks, and 45 yards. That's right, 3rd and 45.
Nice.
If there's a play for this, we'd love to see it. And that's not it. As DePaulo keeps it there, he tried to go left side. Out here he had Bradley double teamed, so he elected smartly to hold it, but as a result he took a big sack, and now it'll be 4th and, well, let's just call it 100.
Yeah, I don't know how smart that was to take that sack because he got drilled, but poor guy came in and took a beating. Yeah, it's a long ways, Joel. I'm going to bring my calculator next week if this is the way it's going to be, but it's a long way. 4th and a good 40.
Smartly, from the Sacramento perspective, they are going to punt as the clock winds. We're inside 2:45 to go now, and they're going to punt from their own end zone. The wind has died a little, but not much, so this could be another interesting punt. Back deep for Santa Cruz is Richard Atkinson. The up back is David Adams. Here's the punt, and it's actually a pretty good one, all things considered. Bounces once, twice. Atkinson decides to pick it up. Goes forward to the 40, the 35. He's drilled out of bounds on the Sacramento sideline at the 33-yard line.
34. 34 from Sacramento. That's the running back, Dante McCullough. He licked him out of bounds.
So Atkinson, gutsy play there to pick up the punt, but he figures, Santos got a punt return for touchdown. I want to get one, and he paid the price, as you said, but he also had a good gain there, folks. He picked it up at the 45 and got it to the 32, so 13-yard return, 2:22 to go. The Spirit now can just run the clock out on this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Haven't we been saying that for about 8 minutes now, or?
More like 28 minutes,
okay.
But Santos Garcia is into the huddle there for Santa Cruz. De La Paz as well, so a double quarterback set, unless Santos plays running back too, along with defensive back, punt returner, punter, quarterback.
Still got 4 wide receivers out there.
4 receivers, Garcia the lone back. And what do you know, folks? Another penalty. Someone has just decided that they want this to be another epic community television 3-hour Titanic-esque production here.
Gotta make sure Suzanne's got enough tape down there, huh?
I don't know if we have enough tape at community TV to edit something like this, but...
Oh, we got it all at community TV, Joel.
Ball at the 36 after the penalty, 1st and 15. 2:22 to go. It was a false start that time on Santa Cruz for those of you keeping score at home. 4 receiver set. Garcia gets the pitch on the sweep right side. Tries to get outside, but he's hit. Stays up, though. Fighting, struggling, and he gets a face mask on top of it. Number 9 for Sacramento was James Hawley, who had the face mask. Good job by Garcia.
Yeah.
He got hit first and stayed up.
That was one of the nicer hits I've seen all day. That was a man who made the interception. Number 4, Oliver. He put a lick on him, but once again, he hit him high. Bounced off. That was a nice play by Garcia.
So now we've seen Santos Garcia for the first time, folks, and he's been really impressive. He threw a completion on 4th down on a fake punt to get the Spirit a first down. He returned a punt 93 yards for a touchdown. He's played defensive back. He's played running back. He's played quarterback. He sold popcorn, and that time he was a running back. And he had an impressive gain that time.
Let's see him come breakdance and spin on his head. I'll give him MVP right now. DJ's starting to pump it up a little bit.
2-minute warning. Finally, we have reached it here, folks, at San Lorenzo Valley High School. 2 minutes to go in the game. Santa Cruz 15, Sacramento nothing. We'll take a timeout here and come back after the 2-minute warning. All right, folks, out of the 2-minute timeout here. Santa Cruz has a 2nd and 8 situation as they're going to pick up that flag. We thought it might be a face mask, unless they call it, I guess they'll call it the 5-yard variety, to tack that on to the end of the run by Garcia. So 1st down. 1st and 8, Gino?
Yeah, well, that was a first down, and then with the penalty, they took the penalty, so I don't know.
But 1st and 8, I've never seen this. Okay,
No,
now
it
the
is, there it
down
is.
man finally gets it right. It's 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, I formation. Deep back now is Lasner. We'll see if he can get into positive yards. Fumble. Picked up. And one man to beat De La Paz with a great tackle that time. Mike Mullen, the man who picked it up for Sacramento, and he had daylight ahead of him had it not been for De La Paz.
Yeah, if he had any running skills at all, it would have been 6, but De La Paz kind of crawled over and rolled into his legs and took him down, but there's a fumble, another turnover.
And
I think it's a little late now, but, you know, Santa Cruz can't be happy with the production, you might say, of their offense or the execution of anything at this point late in the game. It just hasn't been very good. So they're going to have to go back to the practice and do some work on their execution, especially late in the game. Like you said earlier, if they're in a tight game and they do anything like this, it's going to be tough to pull it out.
Well, if you'll recall, they had a great drive going, but it was stalled and they had to kick a field goal, and then their other touchdown came on a punt return. So really the offense has put up only 10 points here. Well, I guess it'd be 9 points since they missed the PAT. But point being, folks, they've moved it, but they haven't shown the ability to finish drives, and that could haunt them later in the season.
Yeah, they're just kind of jabbing their way through, not really knocking anybody out here. So you're going to have to work on, maybe a better game plan against some of these other teams. Obviously, there's some pretty good teams in the league, so they'll have to regroup.
Sacramento has the ball at their own 41-yard line, 1st and 10, 1:54 to go. Give is to Bradley on an end around. He's got room in front of him. Past midfield, he cuts a nice open field tackle, though, by number 1, Richard Torres. Otherwise, Bradley could have really gone a long way.
Yeah, he had a lot of daylight, and he picked up some speed as he kept going. That guy's pretty fast. Good tackle by Torres. It was one-on-one. He grabbed his leg, did the job. Guy thinks he's prime time out there. He kind of has that little shuffle carry where he holds the ball out in front of him and tries to do a little prime time, but I haven't seen him walk into the end zone yet, so
Can't
next
call
week.
him that yet.
Not yet. No, not yet.
11-yard gain, though, for Bradley. Gets it into Santa Cruz territory. Clock winds towards 90 seconds to go here. 1st and 10 for Sacramento. I formation behind the quarterback, Sal DePaulo. They pitch to the left side. That's their big fullback, number 44, Dante Thomas. Almost lost his pants there.
Not sure I want to see that, but
Nice tackle that time by Maurice Lee. Short gain that time for Thomas.
yeah, Lesnar was in the backfield again, Joel. Getting his hands on him early. He's the guy that almost ripped his shorts off. So once again, he's keeping up his nice play. I think definitely one of the solid positives of the Santa Cruz team today from start to finish.
And fortunately, the clock continues to run. We're now at 40 seconds to go. So perhaps this could be the last play of the game here if it's another running play. 35 seconds and counting.
Here comes the
2nd
interception,
and 9. And Gino, now you're predicting the interception. We'll see what happens. Pump fake by DePaulo. Looks deep. He's got Bradley. And Panelli calls it. Number 23, Dave Phillips, and he's got room. He's got Lee in front of him. Cuts back. Oh, and he's finally brought down by the quarterback, DePaulo. But Gino Panelli, proving to be a sage there, calls the interceptions. Dave Phillips delivers, and a huge return to boot. 10 seconds to go. 15-0. The Spirit will now enjoy a 2-1 record.
See, Joel, 1 for 2, 500, not bad for my first game. No, that was a nice play by Phillips. He's just playing center field out there, not letting anybody get behind him. And ball's thrown to him. He got it. He almost scored. He should have scored. The quarterback actually saved that right there.
And I'm sure he'll hear about that from his teammates. We've got a little scuffle here. Number 99, Lamar Brooks, squaring off with number 21 for Sacramento. And that is Demetrius Robinson, and folks, that is a mismatch. That's
yeah, I saw Robinson at a snack bar. He's about 5'6", $150, and Mr. Brooks is about 5'11", 3 bills. So I don't know about that one. I'm gonna have to predict Mr. Brooks in that one.
Smartly, though, from Brooks's perspective, he didn't throw a punch. He didn't get into it. Could have cost him a suspension. Didn't need it to get ugly there. His team's ahead. Didn't need to engage in that sort of thing to end the game. So,
yeah, Brooks showed good poise there. He didn't really go after him. He backed off and then let it boil over. So that was a good job by Brooks there. They definitely need him on the field.
But Gino, back to that interception by Phillips. I'm sure he'll get some razzing from his teammates for allowing the quarterback to bring him down in open field when he could have had a touchdown.
Especially with a blocker in front of him. He didn't really use him, so. Yeah, he's gonna get it tomorrow. Probably today. I'm sure he's already got it. So.
All right, De La Paz will likely just take a knee here. That's all he's got to do, and this will be the last play of the game. So that'll do it. Santa Cruz with a shutout at home. They run their record to 2-1. They defeat the winless Sacramento Grizzlies by a score of 15-0 to run their record, as I said, to 2-1, 2-0 here at home. So Santa Cruz with a great game here. What do you think about their performance, Gino?
They started off strong. I was very impressed with their defense, especially the speed, the power, good size. Their offense, they actually had a great game plan. They started out, they ran the big guy and threw in a couple passes here and there, got a couple breaks, got a couple scores in the first half. But then they seemed to kind of shut down. They just kind of seemed to play at an even keel and really didn't close it out. So not exactly what I would have liked to seen from the football team. But, yeah, they put on a good performance. They won the game. They're 2-0 at home. Fans are happy. We're happy it's over. 3-hour game's kind of a long time. So, all in all, they played well. But, that's what practice is for. They'll go to practice. They'll look at what they've done, and they'll try to change it for the better next time.
All right, we're going to be back, I believe, with a player of the game interview. So we'll do that in just a moment. Once again, the final score here from San Lorenzo Valley High School, Santa Cruz 15, Sacramento nothing, and we'll be right back. Joel Domhoff alongside Gino Panelli back here at San Lorenzo Valley Field, where today the Santa Cruz Spirit have run their home record to 2-0. Overall, they're 2-1. They shut out Sacramento 15-0. We're joined by the quarterback for the Spirit, Ricardo De La Paz. Ricardo, talk about the offense today and what you tried to do against Sacramento.
Well, offense, we tried to open it up some. In the first half, we did real good. We had 1 interception on our Hollister special. We had 6 drop passes that hurt us. And then overall, we had 5 turnovers. You know, and we're lucky that we got out of here 15-0. But we did real good in the first half. We came back in the second half and just weren't able to click. But we hung in there. We hung tight, and we shut them out, and we did good looking forward to next week.
My question is, you're up 15-0, and you got the 2 horses in the backfield, the big guy, 44, and number 30, and you're running the ball real good. Passing game's going well. Don't you want to keep the ball rolling a little bit, keep the clock going, give it to the horses, let them do it instead of coming out and passing towards the end there? Just curious to what the strategy was behind that. Are you guys looking to work on some plays, or?
We do like running. I mean, we got a heck of a running game, but offensive, we need some live action, and so that was part of what Coach was thinking. It gives us an opportunity to run some stuff that in a game. So we can get a look at it and see how it works for further weeks. No, but I do understand, and he understands that. But it does give us an opportunity in a live game where we can get some live action, make it happen, and make it work and adjust some keys. So it was good overall. Yeah.
Now, talk about what happened with you as far as starting off playing this stuff. You're a city councilman in Watsonville. Suddenly you get this opportunity to play. What has this meant to you as far as just getting out of that 9 to 5 and getting out here and having fun?
It's great. It's a different. You get to you get to play. You get to not be politically correct sometimes when you're out on the field, and you get to run around with a bunch of guys that just love playing. So it's been excellent. It's for me. It's selfishness for me, not being community service or anything. So it's just a chance for me to play with some guys that really enjoy playing.
Okay. And last question, we talked about throughout the broadcast taking some risks there, but you're not the biggest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Some of those rollouts, and we saw Santos Garcia perhaps could be a backup quarterback, but you're really the only true quarterback on the roster. Are you ever worried about any of that stuff as far as injury or just taking a risk out there on the outside?
You know, I'm not, but my team is. They always say slide, and sometimes I forget. But there are a couple of times where you get a good licking and you just keep on ticking. But I got to remember to slide, and so we're working on it, and I'm working on it. But, I do get reminded every time, slide, throw the ball away. So we're working on it.
Okay, well, we thank you for joining us. Congratulations on a great game, and you're 2-1.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right. Well, folks, we want to thank you again for joining us. As always, a production like this takes many people. Our producer and director, Suzanne St. John. Our camera people here today were Roger Ewell, Patrick Chose, Craig Goldstein, and Lou Zamora. Our audio man, Ryan Liskey. We also like to thank our sponsor here today, Shackle Telecom. We thank them for their support. And for my color man, Gino Panelli, I'm Joel Domhoff. Once again, Santa Cruz wins by a score of 15-0. Thank you for joining us here on Community TV.